act like we left something. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey shot with the blade, you know we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, you know Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called The Barbershop.
What up? Welcome. Happy New Year to everybody out there. Welcome back. Brand new year, 2026. The Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast, new edition right here. Check us out. We are streaming live on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. Also on the Facebook page, on the YouTube channel, on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast, and also on Twitch. Your boy Trey Frazier right here. And for some reason, this dude thinks it's still COVID season out right here. Got the homie Maestro Styles right here in the building. Was good, fam. Happy New Year, bro.
Happy New Year. I don't think it's COVID season. I think everybody need to see the emblem right this second.
Congratulations. You drew a matchup with the Houston Texans. Congratulations, man.
Nah, it ain't just that.
So go ahead. Man.
Congratulate me better. It ain't that. It ain't just that. Congratulate me better.
You can't tell me how to congratulate you.
Because it ain't just that.
You can't tell me how to congratulate you. Congratulations on drawing the matchup with the Houston Texans. Congratulations.
What else did we earn? What else did we earn?
Huh?
What else did we earn?
The playoffs.
What else?
It's only one playoffs, bro.
What else did we earn?
It's only one playoff.
I can't get the hats fast enough. You know what else we earned?
It's okay. Whatever. You can't tell me how to congratulate you. You can't tell me how to congratulate you.
But see, I need you to.
I try to come on here with a good attitude. You know what I'm saying? We got a bunch of stuff to get to. Got a whole lot of stuff to talk about. Coach firings. Huh?
Fuck all that. You
want a short show? You just want to talk 10 minutes about your team and that's it?
I want to be properly acknowledged as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Acknowledged for what? I congratulated you on getting to the playoffs. I don't know what else more do you want.
How else we get?
I don't know what else more. I don't know what else more do you want, bro.
How else? Don't treat me like a wild card team. Treat me like the AFC North champions.
I never said you was a wild card team. I never said that.
I didn't say that.
I said you are in the playoffs.
Congratulations. Hold on.
Congratulations.
I'll get back to this.
You are in the playoffs.
You good with words, right? You good with words, right?
Yeah, I try to be, but I don't need people. I don't need people dictating to me to tell me how I should congratulate somebody.
But you good with words, so you know you.
What does that have to do with me congratulating you?
No, it was one of them half-ass congratulations that you do when your team made the AFC North champions. Is what it was. Because if it was the other foot on, if it was the other shoe on the other foot, however the hell the saying go, it would be Baltimore Ravens, AFC North champs. But it ain't that. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers, AFC.
You would have been like, oh, congrats, you in the playoffs.
No, I would have acknowledged you as the AFC North champions.
So just like what you just said, I would have been like, oh, it's Baltimore, it's the AFC North champs. I haven't heard that from you yet. I'm waiting for you to, get your rocks off. I'm waiting for you to get your rocks off here.
No, but see, the first issue, and I'm gonna do that, but my first issue is with you not acknowledging us as the AFC North champions. That's my.
I acknowledge you guys as making the playoffs. You guys are in the playoffs.
Yeah, but we are also the AFC North champions, and right this second, that's way more important.
Okay, I mean,
see, so it's not important.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I'm just wondering why you're trying to dictate to me how I should approach congratulating you.
I'm wondering why you didn't acknowledge us for the team that we were, because if the shoe was on the other foot, I would acknowledge the Baltimore Ravens as the AFC North champions. Not just a team that made the playoffs. You playing us like we the Texans. We are the AFC North champions.
By the way, the Texans got a better record than y'all, but
I don't care if
sure,
they ain't
sure,
champions or nothing yet, though. Right now, we the North champions, and we need to
okay.
be acknowledged as such.
By who? By me?
If you got any
By,
respect for your
by me?
division, if you got any respect for your division, you should respect the people who handed you your loss.
By me?
If you respect your division,
Listen,
if you respect your division,
I know you want to put on the show tonight, man. I know you
if you
want.
want to respect your division,
I,
and
I know
look,
you.
hey,
I know
look,
you want to get your rock off. It's
if you ain't
cool.
got no respect, then just say that. But if you had respect, then you would say, congratulations to the
Congratulations on
2025
getting to the
AFC North
playoffs.
champs,
Congratulations on
Pittsburgh
getting the
Steelers.
playoffs.
But I feel you.
Congratulations on getting to the
The
playoffs, man.
hate in your blood is
What
boiling.
is this? What is this about, man?
In your blood is boiling, Trey.
I'm on here in a good mood right now. You know what I'm saying? It's the
The
first
blood
show
is
with
boiling.
it's the first show with the new year.
I'm
It's
in a good mood too.
2026.
Hold on,
Yeah.
hold on. I'm in a
Uh-huh.
good mood too.
Hey, bet, man. I
Hey,
mean,
let's not do that. I'm in a great
hey,
mood.
oh, great. No, that's good. You should be. You should
All right,
be.
so we both are collectively in good mood.
You should be. You should be. Your team is going to be playing next weekend.
As the
That's
AFC
that's
North champions.
that's enough of a reason to be in a good mood.
As the AFC North champions.
And my team finally cut the cord on the head coach. That's enough for me to be in a good mood also, because it was certainly time for that to happen. So I'm in a good mood, bro. I'm in a great mood, man. I'm looking forward to the show, man. I know you wanna talk your shit and all that stuff.
I ain't got much. Hey,
You're
man,
gonna have your time.
I ain't got
You're
much
gonna
to
have your
say,
time,
man.
man.
I ain't got much to say, man. Hey, let me get back. I ain't got much to say.
You just okay.
I ain't got much to say.
You ain't got
Feel
much
me?
to say.
I ain't got much to say.
Hey,
AFC
man, we
North
could.
champs, brother.
Hey, we
AFC
could.
North champs.
All right. Hey, congrats, man.
Thank
Congrats,
you.
bro.
Thank you.
Congrats. Yeah, yeah, that's what I was looking for. I said I congratulated you at the top of the show,
Yeah,
and
but again,
you wanted to create a little bit of content, which I respect.
either you
Which
good at words or you not though. So if you good with words, then you know you intentionally left out acknowledging us as the AFC North champions.
I mean, does that hurt your feelings that I left out AFC North champs?
It's just a respect thing. It's either you hating. It's either a backhanded compliment or you was negligent to recognize that we were the AFC North champions.
Listen. I'm gonna always be a hater of anybody in my division. I'm always gonna be a hater.
So
I
it's a
mean,
backhanded compliment.
I'm not going to disrespect nobody. I try to respect people. I try to respect and give people credit where it's due. Y'all won that game fair and square, bro. And my team, they drew me back in because I expected this season to be over a week prior without me even happening to watch them fail. But they're too good, man. They did it. They were too good. They drew us back in. Had probably one of the more. That's probably a top 10 game for 2025 the season. That game was probably, if you would agree, that probably is going to be a top 10 game of all the regular season games that have been played during the season. The fourth quarter was crazy. And yeah, they suckered us in with with those last three drives, really. Those last three drives, the Tuesday touchdowns and the likely catch to put us in field goal range. But yeah, look, much credit, man. Now I think the real conversation should be expectations for your team
Nah.
to get through these playoffs.
I don't think that's a real conversation at all.
Why? Why not?
Because right now I'm celebrating.
That's cool. You had 24 hours to celebrate.
I also
the game was Sunday, man.
I also have a public broadcast that I broadcast every Tuesday at 7:00 Eastern time. So
Sure.
right now I'm celebrating
That's cool.
For the Steelers fans out in the world. I'm celebrating for me. I'm celebrating for you.
For me,
For you, man, because you need to see.
I didn't accomplish anything.
You need to see Pittsburgh still a happiness. You need to see.
Well, I don't need to see it. I don't need to see it.
Because sometimes y'all got a franchise quarterback, and shout out to Lamar Jackson and all that's peace. But sometimes you forget who the big dogs of the North is. So you need to see.
But wait a minute. Y'all haven't won this thing in like what 5 seasons? How y'all the big dogs and y'all haven't won in 5 years? That don't make sense to me.
It's history, bruh.
That don't make sense to me.
It's pedigree, bruh. Even with y'all with a franchise quarterback, they still checking.
Y'all haven't won a playoff game in 10 years. Like
they still checking.
What are we talking about?
Until y'all become a dynasty, if that ever happens, Pittsburgh right now.
So you're banking off of a dynasty from 50 years ago? Is that you still hanging your hat on that? We've been that same dynasty. We've been that same dynasty. A dynasty that you wasn't born for?
We've been
that's what you living off of?
We've been the same pedigree of a football team since that up until now. Let's not do that though. Let's not do that. We the story friends.
It's two different things, man.
Let's not do that though. Let's not pretend like because we ain't made the playoff, we ain't won the.
But when you say and you over here talking about being good with words, I imagine you're good with words also.
I'm not. I just be talking shit.
But when you say the big dogs of the North, we won the division the last couple of seasons. Before that, it was the lousy Bengals that won, the division a couple of seasons in a row. You know this division. Nobody wins this. Nobody wins this thing more than 3 years in a row, bro.
Hey, hear me good. Big dogs. I ain't trying to hear none of that shit you're talking about. Big dogs.
You a big dog, huh? And you a 4th seed.
Big dogs.
Talking about you, a big dog.
AFC North.
You a big dog.
AFC North.
You the Panthers. You the Panthers of the AFC right now.
AFC North champions.
You the Panthers of the AFC right now.
AFC North champions.
Ain't nobody giving y'all a chance right now. Nobody giving y'all a chance. And quite frankly, the expectation should be up here for Pittsburgh. I know you want to avoid it. I know you don't want to talk about it. I know you want to try to.
I don't want to talk about it right now because I'm celebrating.
No, you want to avoid it at all costs. I'm telling you right now, y'all should be expecting a win in these playoffs. The expectation should be high for this team.
Tell me why.
Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Fame quarterback with the most playoff experience in this conference.
You don't even believe that.
Those are facts. I don't believe what?
Did I
lie?
You just said that the expectation. No, but you don't believe what you said. You don't believe what you said.
Did I lie?
I said you don't believe
about the coach. I just said the coach. The coach is the most tenured coach in the playoffs. The quarterback has the most experience.
Oh yeah, let's turn it up. Now you just in here telling lies.
No, but you're acting like I'm telling lies over here.
You are telling lies. You are telling lies.
About what?
You're saying that our expectations should be high because we have a tenured coach and a tenured quarterback.
No. Should be. And you asked me why, and I gave you good reasons, and it's
those are just reasons. Those are just reasons. We all watched football this year. What are we talking about?
Yeah, we watched football. We watched how Pittsburgh played this year. We watched how the Texans played this year. We watched how the Ravens played this year. We watched how the Broncos played this year. We watched how you don't believe that. And for you to make I don't believe what? I don't believe
that Pittsburgh Steelers expectations should be high because you have watched a full season of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I do.
You believe that this
I asked you last week.
Hold on. Time out.
I asked you last week.
Time out.
Go ahead.
I can't hear nothing you saying. Time out.
Go ahead. Try to avoid this. Go ahead.
We're here. What are we avoiding? We're right here.
I'm not avoiding anything. I'm embracing the conversation. Go ahead.
You just said go ahead and avoid it. And I said, what are we avoiding if we're here at the conversation? There ain't nothing to run from.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You said that we should have high expectations
Mhm.
because of a tenured coach and a tenured quarterback, as if we didn't watch no other teams in the AFC play this year.
I got a question for you.
No.
I just said I had a question for you. I just said I had a question for you.
Yet. I ain't finished my question. I didn't even get to my point yet.
Go ahead.
How should we, if we all watch, and let's be clear, I'm gonna root for my team. Don't
of course you are.
Get it twisted.
Of course you are. Of course.
But if you've watched the NFL season for this year and watched the AFC, irregardless of if Jesus Christ was coaching the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nah, I'm big on Jesus nowadays. I would expect I would have higher expectations.
Come on, man.
If Jesus was coaching the Steelers,
come on, man.
I would have higher expectations. But the truth is that a mortal man who's been coaching all year in Mike Tomlin, Hall of Famer, all the things that he deserved to be. But he ain't Jesus Christ. We watched him play. We watched him coach all year. There is nothing that we saw all year that would have you make that statement and you really believe that.
I asked you last week. I said, do you think the Jacksonville Jaguars are worthy of the AFC Championship game? And you said, your words, hell no.
Exactly.
And I think those words are pretty strong for a team in a conference with teams that's got not first year quarterbacks, but quarterbacks that are going to be going through this for the very first time. Patriots. Come on, like we serious right now?
But see, you're basing it on who's on paper, and I'm basing it off of actually looking at games. And I think that's where we're disconnecting, because when you say I should have expectations for the Steelers, your reasons were because I have a tenured coach and a tenured quarterback. But we watched both of these tenured people play and coach all year. What did you see the Pittsburgh Steelers do this football season where you feel like we should have high expectations?
What did y'all do? Okay.
I'm talking about on the field.
Yeah, I'm getting there. AFC North champs, you beat the Ravens.
Okay, now.
You beat the Ravens.
Hey, the bullshit level you on right now is absolutely crazy, sir.
What?
Because at first, when we started this podcast, you wouldn't even acknowledge that we were the AFC North champions.
We're having a different conversation. Bro.
So, okay,
you asked the question. I'm giving you an answer. I'm giving you an answer. Yeah, a win and in game. Like, I think that accounts for something. And my question to you that I was going to ask you earlier: regular season different from the playoffs, right? I know you and we talk about this all the time,
Absolutely.
right? Regular season, you can the Broncos look good. The Broncos look good all throughout the regular season. New England came out of nowhere. Jacksonville came out of nowhere. I think at one point in the year, I think you said, "Oh, you don't have to worry about the Texans," and I kind of was like, "You sure about that?" And they've racked off 8-9 wins straight. To close out their season. Who am I missing? The Chargers.
I ain't worried about the Chargers, and I ain't worried about Jacksonville. Let me just make it easy for you.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not worried about Jacksonville, and I'm not worried about the Chargers. I'm not worried about either one of those teams.
You worried about the Patriots? You worried about the Patriots?
They're playing better football than we are right now.
I understand that, but in a playoff setting, are you worried about the Patriots?
Am I worried? I respect outside of Jacksonville and the Chargers beat us this year. Outside of them, I am concerned about every single team in the AFC playoff picture.
So you're concerned about the Broncos. You're concerned about the Texans. You're concerned about New England to a degree.
Yo, you are blowing my mind.
I'm asking the question. Based on what you just said.
I hear the question. I'm understanding the question. I understood it 2 minutes ago. But you are blowing my mind with this angle that the Pittsburgh Steelers, because we want to win all game where you got a rookie miss a field goal that got us into the playoffs in the AFC North. Now, I'm celebrating. Let's be clear. I'm celebrating. But I'm not unobjective to what happened in that game.
Sure. You're a missed field goal away from being home. Facts.
And not only that, and not just that, not only that.
Yep.
Y'all, the last 4 points, the last 2 touchdowns y'all scored was off the same exact play where we did the same exact thing on defense.
Yeah. Facts.
If y'all would have ran the ball more than 5 times in the second half, you think ran the ball with Derrick Henry more than 5 times in the second half, y'all think it might maybe have been a different result? Because he had 100 yards in the first fucking half?
I think the kicker should have missed.
I'm not saying you would.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because the run game wasn't the issue. You
still haven't learned from the Detroit game.
The run game how many times did we get the ball? Y'all had ball control. Y'all had ball.
I watched it happen, Trey. I swear, I watched it. It happened on 2 possessions Sunday, where Derrick Henry comes in on the first quarter, racks off 6 to 8 yards, and then you don't see him again for the rest of the possession, for the rest of the drive.
We had penalties on a couple of those drives. We were in like 3rd and 16, 3rd and long.
That was one. That was one drive.
But that was a couple of drives there. It was more than just one drive.
I'm talking about specifically. I want to say it was either your first or second drive in the second half where he ran the ball 8 yards and you didn't see him again. And then he got that 1 first down, and then y'all went 3 and out. And I'm not talking about I know about the one you talking about with 3 and 16. That only happened. 3 and 16 happened once.
No, that happened. That happened a couple of times.
Sure, Barbershop Sports Talk podcast. No way. I'm not going to vet it. You're not going to vet it. The point is,
I'm telling you this. I'm not saying I think it. I'm telling you this is what happened.
Show me proof, and I'll shut up about it. But you're not going to do that right now, right?
No, I'm not, because I'm telling you exactly. But I'm not telling you I think that's happened. I'm telling you that's what happened.
Just because you say that, I don't know that really happened. That's just what you feel happened.
That's on you, but don't tell me I'm a liar.
I didn't say you was a liar. I said that didn't happen. I disagree with you. When did I ever call you a liar? That's in turn telling me I'm a liar. No. See, here you go. So you're telling me there's no difference? No. You're doing it. No. You're doing it. There's a difference between being a liar and being wrong. I didn't call you a liar. I said you're wrong.
Yeah, but that in turn means you're saying something else happened other than what I said happened.
But that doesn't make you a liar. That makes you wrong.
But it means the same thing. It means that
you're wrong. Yo, what are we doing? Okay.
It means I just said they were in 3rd and long 2 times, and you're saying no. You're wrong.
That don't mean you lied. It means you're wrong.
But you're insinuating something else happened.
I'm not insinuating. I'm telling you something else happened, and you're telling me something else happened. So one of us are wrong, but I didn't say you lied.
But you're insinuating something else happened.
I'm not insinuating. I'm saying something else happened.
That's my point. That's my point.
Okay.
That's my point, bro.
This is called talking circular. Okay.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
How is this not called talking circular?
If I came to you and said, "Hey, man, I think this happened," now that's an opinion, right? That's based off an opinion. If I say, "Hey, I think this happened," and if you respond with, "Hey, I think you're wrong," you can vet me out. Okay, cool. I got you there. But if I tell you they were in 3rd and long a couple of times in this game, that's a fact because I remember it.
So there's no chance you remembered it wrong?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay, let's move on. Anyway, the point is that the recipe for the Derrick Henry ran Baltimore Ravens is that you got to run the ball, point blank and period. And you ran the ball 5 times. That's not going to work.
Wait. Let's for context. No. For context. Because he ran it 15 times in the first half.
I said 5 times in the second half is what I said. That's what I said.
I'm not disputing that. I'm clarifying for context because people are watching.
I don't give a fuck who's watching.
Oh, you don't? Oh.
I don't. I'm here talking to you. If people are watching,
we're not doing a podcast? We not
Yes,
we not
but I
we,
don't
we
give
not we
a
not live on a podcast.
Hey,
We not.
yo. Maestro Styles is doing a podcast, but I am talking to my nigga who's a Baltimore Ravens fan.
Sure,
I don't give a
sure.
fuck who's watching. I'm telling you that he ran the ball
So you're not
5 times
talking.
in the
You're not
second
talking
half.
to an audience. You're
I'm
not talking to an
you.
audience.
No, I'm talking to you.
That's fine. You can. Two things can be true.
An
You can talk
audience
to
is
me,
listening.
and you
An
can talk to
audience is
the audience at
An
the same
audience
time.
is listening. I am talking
That's
to Trey
fine.
Frazier.
That's fine. Okay.
That's who I'm talking to.
Okay.
I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to them.
Oh, okay. You can't talk to two people at the same time.
I'm saying I'm not. I'm saying I'm not.
Yo, this dude is crazy.
I am talking to you directly. I'm saying Trey Frazier. I'm not saying hey listeners. I'm saying hey Trey Frazier.
Okay.
You can't run the ball 5 times in the second half and expect to win.
We didn't have the ball. We didn't have the ball enough in the second half.
And at what point was y'all ever? And at what point was y'all ever? We did the same thing in Detroit. At what point was y'all so damn?
Don't even bring that game up because that game is different than this game, bro.
But
you know that.
But the premise stays the same. Y'all were never down a high amount of points where you had to abandon the running game. It didn't happen.
We didn't abandon the run game.
You did abandon the running game.
He threw the pass. Wait, Lamar threw 18 times. We ran the ball 20-something times.
I'm talking about the
ball. Y'all had the ball more than we did.
I'm talking about the second half, where your best, where your most
was on the field a lot because of y'all.
How do you keep the offense off the field, Trey?
We were in 3rd and long.
How do you keep the offense off the field, Trey?
We had penalties. We were killed by penalties on the offensive line, bro.
Every single drive you had penalties?
We had one drive. I believe it was one drive in that 3rd quarter. Y'all had the ball.
Until you show me that, I'm going to...
You watched the game. You said you watched the game, right?
Which is why I have my opinion. You have your opinion, but apparently you're not wrong.
But I'm not giving it. But I'm not giving an opinion. I'm stating facts about what happened in the game. You're of the opinion that we abandoned a run, and I'm saying to I'm saying to you, well, that's not a fact because the fact is that y'all controlled the ball a lot more in the 3rd quarter than we did.
What about the 4th quarter?
We had less possessions.
What about the 4th quarter? I said the second half. I ain't said the 3rd quarter.
So you trying to tell me your defense didn't stuff our run game a little bit in that second half, kind of going into the 4th quarter there? Because I thought y'all defense stepped up in stopping our run in a couple of those drives.
I think we did a good job in the 5 carries that Derrick Henry got. Yes, but he should have had more than 5 carries.
How if we were down in distance? I'm just trying to figure out like how. I'm just trying to figure out like, look, generally speaking, this whole Derrick Henry thing has been a problem the entire year. Generally speaking, this game. You don't feel like that was the case this time.
I
don't think that was the case in this game. I don't think that was the case in this game.
Hey, well, guess what? Whatever the case was.
But I like how you divert to this conversation. I like how you know.
Okay, what did I run away from? Okay, because now
we're talking about the expectation. We're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay, so
expectations in the playoffs.
What I said about the expectations is that I'm going to enjoy the fact that we are there, but I don't have any expectations because I said it in August. I didn't have any expectations. I'm going to enjoy my team.
We're in January. We're in January now,
and my team is doing exactly what I said my team was going to do in August.
The regular season's over, man. It's playoffs, man. It's a different season.
Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said?
I heard what you said.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that
I'm saying why can't you change your expectations? I'm just asking the question. Why can't you change your expectations? That's all.
But I said why.
No, you're saying you had expectations in August.
Before we got here, I told you I was concerned. I told you, have you watched us play this year?
Right. So okay.
Sure. Okay. No. Because you're gonna accuse me of running from the conversation again. So let me finish my whole diatribe.
Yeah.
Have you watched us play? We have not played good football all year. You don't just flip a switch and all of a sudden play championship football. That traditionally doesn't happen. I get that there are anomalies somewhere, Trey. You don't have to mention the anomalies. Generally, if you're playing mid-football, throughout the course of a football season, you're going to play mid-football in the playoffs. Those things don't change. The Broncos right now on paper are a better team than us. The Patriots right now on paper are a better team than us. I think the Buffalo Bills right now on paper, maybe people feel that's debatable. Sure, it's debatable. The Chargers are debatable. Jacksonville is debatable, even though we looking at them like they might be a dark horse team in the playoffs. All these, my point is that if you look at the 7 teams in the playoff race right now, we are right where we should be. Number 4 in the middle. Mid.
You said help.
So I'm going. Hold on. I'm going to let me finish my diatribe so you get a full scope of how I feel about my team. So you don't say 2 minutes from now I'm running from a conversation. Like I've been very consistent about who the Pittsburgh Steelers are and who they're going to be from August because I know my team. I can look at the team. Aaron Rodgers is a good quarterback. I'm going to root for him, and I hope I'm wrong. But right now, nothing about that game Sunday made me feel like, oh, all of a sudden, this team is going to be a dark horse in the playoffs. Nothing you saw made you feel like Pittsburgh Steelers fan or indifferent that all of a sudden Pittsburgh Steelers are going to flip the switch based on us winning the game because y'all got a rookie kicker and y'all wouldn't stand by the sicko that y'all cut in the summertime.
Can it also be based off of who's in the field of the playoffs also?
But I also just mentioned who's in the field. Denver looks better than us. The Patriots look better than us. Buffalo has pedigree. Jacksonville looks better than us, even though I think we can beat them. The only teams I'm
Why do you think you can beat Jacksonville? Why do you think you can beat Jacksonville?
Because I just don't believe in Jacksonville. You know this because you pod with me.
But you believe in the Patriots.
Have you been watching? Huh? So you're telling me Jacksonville's playing comparable football to the Patriots?
Patriots had a soft schedule this season.
Jacksonville. That's not what I asked you.
No.
All you could do is play the schedule.
I'm giving you reasons. I'm giving you reasons why. Jacksonville had a tougher schedule. They beat the 49ers. They beat the Chiefs in back-to-back weeks. They just beat the Denver Broncos in Denver.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I asked you a very simple question then your answer is yes, and you didn't have to go through that. Do you feel like the Patriots and the Jacksonville Jaguars are playing comparable football? It was a yes or no question.
Why can't I explain it though?
Because we were trying to get somewhere, and I see the shout. Right, we gotta move on.
No, sure, sure, but I'm just trying to. I don't know. I guess you hate me talking. I guess.
I'm just not understanding your angle.
I don't understand your angle when you say I don't believe in the Jaguars, who had a tougher schedule than the regular season, but you're concerned about the Patriots, who had a softer schedule. That's what I don't understand.
But see, that's not even the conversation we were having. You're jumping into whole conversations when you told me stop running from the main conversation, which was, should I have expectations for the Pittsburgh Steelers? That was just the reason why I don't have confidence in the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm just going to enjoy my team.
All right, man.
Like you jumping after you told me don't run.
All right. I don't know how I'm jumping from a conversation. I'm asking questions. I'm just asking questions.
I don't even understand what that had to do with your initial point that you asked me to stop running from.
I just asked the question. You said, hell no, the Jags can't get to a conference title game. You said you're less concerned about Jacksonville than you are the Patriots.
Okay.
And I'm just asking why. That's all I'm doing is just asking why. That's
okay.
It. Okay. But let me get Glenn Clark in here. Let me get Glenn in here.
No. Give him 2 more minutes. I just want to be clear that we're clear.
Yeah.
Have I answered your question about why I'm not satisfied, why I'm not super excited, and I'm just going to be a fan with no expectations in the playoffs? No,
I got that part. That part about on the Pittsburgh side. I got that part on the Pittsburgh side. I'm just asking about I'm just asking about your potential competition in these playoffs.
Okay.
And you said last week. You said last week when I asked you, hey, what do you think about the Jacksonville Jaguars? Do you think their ceiling is an AFC Championship game? And your words was hell no.
And
hell no. Now, the Patriots. who was a team that just came out of nowhere, played good football. I'll give you that. They played some good football. I just think that their strength of schedule, I think the opponents they played in the regular season, I think were soft for the most part. Yes, they beat Buffalo earlier in the year. That's probably their one quality win, but Jacksonville's got a bunch of quality wins this year. And they're coming off of a 7-8 game win streak to close out the regular season.
And I'll close with this.
Yep.
And I'll close with this just so your question is answered.
Mm-hmm.
We've been calling Jacksonville a clunky, goofy football team for the majority of this football season. I'm not going to act like, and I'm not saying, again, saying that that's not to take away a win. That's not but if you're asking me who looks like they're playing better football right now, I'm going to go with the New England Patriots. They look like they're playing better football right now. They don't look clunky. Maybe that has something to do with strength of schedule. Maybe it doesn't. I'll let them sort that out when the playoffs start this weekend coming up. But right now, if you're asking me, who I'm more concerned about as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, the Patriots or the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm going to say the New England Patriots because I've watched them play 2 or 3 games, from totality, and I've watched the Jacksonville Jaguars play 2 or 3 games in totality. Okay. In the beginning of the season, the middle season, and on the run. I acknowledge that they look better. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they're doing what they do. But I'm not going to act like I didn't see nothing I saw in the beginning of the year. It's a totality of the season. If you're asking me who I believe through the course of a season is playing better football, and it could be a hot hand thing. It could be a hot hand thing. It could be that. But if we're talking about a hot hand, the Patriots have had a hot hand just as well. And the only thing we're talking about is strength of schedule. And I'm not saying that's not important. I'm just saying, how does it look on the field? I'm more concerned about the Patriots.
All right.
But I am a fan. I don't have much expectations. Like I said in August, like I said when we beat somebody we wasn't supposed to beat, and all the way up until today, I don't have a bunch of expectations. I am celebrating my team being the AFC North champions, and that's what I'm going to do.
All right. Glenn, forgive us, man, for forgive us for the unprofessionality over here, man.
Are you crazy? Hold on, what? Glenn,
can I just move on? Can I just move on with the show? And you keep interrupting me.
Glenn, welcome to the show, man. Because this is off the rails, and I'm okay with it. But this is the Barbershop Sports Talk podcast, and the first thing he say out of his mouth when you come on here is professional. That's crazy.
We had him wait. We had him wait longer than we should have. That's what I'm saying.
Hang on a second. I also feel like, considering how the two of you are addressed, this is exactly what a conversation is supposed to sound like. Like if somebody's wearing all Steelers gear and somebody's wearing all Ravens gear, I don't think anybody's supposed to be expecting like, hey, we love each other. Like we're coming on.
And I don't like him.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't like his ass either. Yeah,
there you go.
I'm gonna fight this dude. but hey, Glenn, welcome to the show, man. Just to kind of get your credentials out there. PressBoxOnline.com. One half of Glenn and Rita on YouTube, and by the way, y'all do great. With the show and everything, man. Great to meet you a couple of times. First time at the Improv comedy show back in July, and then at the kickoff party in September. So glad we was able to do this under these circumstances.
Of all the days, of all the damn days.
Man. If in case you missed that first 30 minutes of me and him going, back and forth, typical Steeler Ravens, conversation after a regular season finale that went the way it went. I guess your thoughts, man, this news with the coach being fired, John Harbaugh finally let go after 18 years. It had to happen, in my opinion. It had to happen. It was time.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame coach. No doubt, Super Bowl, we thank him, for all the things he did, changing the culture and everything like that. Initially your thoughts on the firing.
Trey, almost the exact same thing you said. I mean, it was time. It was time. And the biggest issue being that, and I get it. Look, man, John Harbaugh did not want his kicker to push a field goal to the right. He didn't say, hey, go out there and miss the kick. But this happens far too frequently when things matter most. This organization's DNA currently is coming up small in the biggest moments. That's their DNA right now. And they're not moving on from Lamar Jackson. That would be suicide. It would be insane to think that you're going to do that. So how do you wash out that DNA? I mean, they gave opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. And to be fair, like the Ravens were winning the last couple of years. I get it. They weren't winning Super Bowls and that was disappointing, but they were winning. Yeah. And so I understood the decision to say, all right, we're going to try to run it back and see if next year it's going to be different. But you can't keep doing it and doing it and doing it and then get this and get an 8-9 season where you can say, yes, the players were hurt at the beginning of the year. Lamar Jackson was hurt. But Lamar Jackson was back out on the field for home games against the Steelers and the Bengals, and they lost those games. And they put themselves in this position. It's a miracle they were playing. Like, yeah, you can say they were playing for the AFC North title, but it required the Steelers going and laying an egg in Cleveland in order to have that opportunity. Exactly. They are an organization that has become known for they're not going to play their biggest in the biggest moments. And it's a shame because obviously Lamar was phenomenal in the fourth quarter on Sunday, and it was an opportunity to rewrite a narrative in a way because Isaiah Likely was making big plays. It's a shame it didn't work out for them, but this is who they are, and the only way to wash themselves of it is to acknowledge it. And so that's what they're doing here. Now it's not on the John Harbaugh era Ravens. Now it's the Lamar Jackson era, and let's go see what happens. But John Harbaugh is a hell of a football coach. Everybody talks about he's going to have a job, and he will, and if he wants, and he should. I mean, he's a damn good football coach. And I would say the same thing about Mike Tomlin. If the shoe was on the other foot, they're damn good football coaches, but sometimes it's just time. Right. And it's just time in Baltimore for them to go a different way. So I was mildly surprised because the Ravens don't make big, bold decisions like this, but this was the time. This was the moment. This was the right thing to do. And now they got to go find their next coach that they hope will be here for 2 decades.
How much you think it has to do with maybe John wanted to keep Zach Orr as the defensive coordinator? Because I've been hearing a little bit of that.
Well, it's real funny. Apparently, Diana Rossini said that it was Todd Monken, which is bizarre because all John did all season was throw Todd Monken under the bus. I would tell you that in a few conversations I've had, I'm skeptical of that. And I'm not – I think that there might be something more along the lines of John recognizes the grass is greener somewhere else. That right now he's under a microscope and if he goes to New York, he's beloved. If he goes to New York, he can whatever he wants, they're going to give it to him on day one.
Oh yeah, the Giants, specifically the Giants. Yeah.
Yes, the Giants, correct. Yeah. He'll be a hero on day one to that franchise. So I'd be very surprised if it was specifically Todd Monken the way that Diana Rossini reported it. But I do think there's some element of looking around Steve Bisciotti saying, well, this is the way things are going to go. And him just sort of saying, yeah, I think there's going to be a spot that might be better for me where they're not going to have the same feelings in this moment.
Because see, I'm of the opinion, if you fire Todd Monken, okay, I got no issue with it. You know, me and Maestro, we've had conversations. The whole Derrick Henry thing has been an issue, generally speaking, throughout, you know, this entire season. But if you tell me you fire Todd Monken and you're going to keep Zach Orr for a unit that has been bad, that has been consistently bad throughout this season, that would have been a problem for me.
I think it's unreal. I mean, I think
that would have been a problem for me.
I think it's almost insane. I think in hindsight, the final moment for John Harbaugh might have been the decision to not fire Zach Orr at the bye this year.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe that Bears game, you know, might have been kind of like poisonous, and the performance against the Rams, those 2 games might have made them say, okay, we think we can get this fixed. In hindsight, and I love Zach Orr. He was a hell of a player. He's a Raven, but it was pretty clear he was in over his head in the first season. They did everything they could to surround him, to help him. They brought back Dean Pease and put him in the building, and they got a great output from it. I mean, the Ravens defense by the end of last season was one of the better defenses in football. So I understood their decision to bring him back this year, But seeing how things played out in the first 5 weeks of the season, I just don't know how you kept pretending like there wasn't a common denominator problem here.
Yeah. I think part of the problem is him too. I think two things are true. I think he was a problem for this defense in terms of the calls he made. I also think the other part of the problem is how this defense is built. This D line, they don't have the dude to get that, the pass rush. They don't have that.
Yep.
They have all their resources into the secondary, which, they could be trash as well in certain cases too. So I think it goes both ways.
You can't. They have this belief that because analytically, the data nerds will say you can build a really solid statistic defense from the outside in.
Right.
And so they went heavy into data and heavy into analytics, and they said that's the way we're going to build defenses. To the point, Eric DeCosta moving forward, I've said this for years. When you need to win a football game, the only way to win it defensively is for someone up front to make a play.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
And I get it. TJ Watts don't grow on trees. You can't just go have that type of play. Every year you want Max Crosby to be on the trade block, but he's never been dealt, and I'm more and more convinced he'll never be dealt. These guys, there's not enough of them for 32 teams.
Yeah.
But you need to be better than you've been up front. You need guys that can be playmakers and winners and can go when the game is on the line, win you the game by making a play up front. And they have not prioritized that. There is no doubt. And I think that whoever the coach is, this organization has to prioritize that defensively moving forward.
So optic-wise, right? I think what irritated me the most, and I was leaving my 9 to 5, and they was like, "Oh, somebody says, oh shit, Harbaugh got fired." I said, "Stop lying." They said, "Yeah, no," and I picked up my phone and seen that happen. I think optically, what kind of irritated me, is I didn't see immediately as a under the main headline, Zach Orr and Todd Monken also fired.
Yeah,
I think that's what kind of, because optically, and I'm not, clearly, as you can tell, I'm not a fan of the Baltimore Ravens, but it's like, but from a perspective, if Monken has had his issues and Zach Orr for damn sure had his issues, I don't want to see Harbaugh, and yes, obviously he's the ringleader, so to speak.
Yeah, I was gonna say my show when they announced, but my show just and I'll let you go. I was just gonna say in the middle of that. When those types of announcements happen, when a head coach gets fired,
it's assumed.
You normally, like, whether it's parting the ways mutually or whatever that is, it's always assumed that the staff behind them is out also.
There are people that think that maybe the Browns might try to coerce whoever their next head coach is into trying to keep Jim Schwartz, right? But who knows if Jim Schwartz wants to work for whoever the next head coach is. I think the assumption is that they're cleaning whoever this coach is going to have the autonomy to hire whoever he wants staff wise.
I agree, and which is why I started with optically.
Yeah,
like it's a look like you what happens on Sunday. Ravens fans are in a frenzy, and we don't really know what happened, or y'all don't really know what happened. I know exactly what happened, but y'all don't really know what happened, and it's just like if you. And I guess I get it. You don't really do it for the fans, even though they in turn pay bills. But it's like it would be a little refreshing. Like if I was in that situation, like if the roles were reversed, and Chris Boswell, who did miss the extra point, that made it a little more interesting than it needed to be. But he misses if he misses that, and then you fire Mike Tomlin. In my mind, Terrell Austin, while I like Terrell Austin, ain't the best defensive coordinator. We ain't been the best defense, either. So if you're gonna let Tomlin go, I want to see if my offensive coordinators aren't doing well. I want to see everybody. I would prefer as a fan.
That's natural. I
want to see that because I want to. It's like a hope thing. It's like not only are we cutting the head off, but then we cutting the tail and the stomach off too.
Yeah,
that's what.
And I think that's happening. I just think it's knocking this out today. It's this. I'll tell you two things I did appreciate. I thought it was interesting that Steve Bisciotti, the owner of the Ravens, came out kind of forcefully and was like, this wasn't a mutual thing. Like I made this decision. This wasn't good enough for me. I want to win Super Bowls and you're not winning Super Bowls. And I kind of appreciate him. Don't gaslight us into everything's great. Everything's fine. We've just decided, which I think a lot of us thought that was what they were going to do. They were going to say, hey, we have so much respect for John Harbaugh that you know, we'll find a way to make it seem like this was his decision, right? I appreciate them saying that this isn't good enough. This was not. This is not. We should be winning Super Bowl We have Lamar Jackson.
Right.
We have a generational, a true, an icon that is leading this football team.
Yeah.
We should be winning Super Bowls. Yep. This isn't good enough. I appreciate him saying that.
Yeah, for an owner that's absent for the most part, he usually comes out every offseason, but it's been a while since he's done that. And, you know, for a while I was thinking, yo, did this dude really care about winning or not? Because we don't see him to address it. And now, like you said, he comes out and, you know, he makes a decision and he comes out with the firm, hey, you know, this is my decision. You know, this is what it is. Now, I'm interested to see what's going to happen with DeCosta, the GM, because, you know, we've been critical of how he's built, you know, the defensive line, the offensive line as well. So do you think DeCosta is going to be in a position to pick his coach, or is Bisciotti going to be the one to make that call?
I mean, look, the Ravens will always tell you they do things collaboratively. And to be fair, like they haven't had many of these. I know the last one was collaborative. That said, I think everybody knows the last time they hired a head coach, Steve Bisciotti wanted to hire Jason Garrett. Like it was very clear. Steve Bisciotti attempted to hire Jason Garrett. It didn't work out. I do think this will come down to Steve Bisciotti. I'd be very surprised if he said, I'm taking myself out of this. This is Eric's hire to make. I think Steve believes that one of the few things he's responsible for is I'm responsible for the head coach. Right. The front office is responsible for the players. I'm responsible for the head coach. But I do think that he will work with Eric DeCosta. I think Eric DeCosta's got to feel like his seat's warm. Like that, you know, now the microscope's kind of on me. That they've already made one change. Clearly it's not good enough. If there's another season like this next year, I don't know how he would feel comfortable at all. This shouldn't be happening. It should not be happening when you have Lamar Jackson. Exactly. I hate to keep making it that dumb, right? Like oversimplify.
But it's really that simple. But it really is.
It's simple.
That's what it is.
You got a generational talent. It's simple. Right. Yeah.
So Glenn, I'll ask you, because I asked Trey this maybe last week or maybe a couple of weeks ago. How generational talent, Lamar Jackson, all the things we know. How many more years of this do you think before Lamar Jackson becomes, in your eyes, Dak Prescott?
Wow. I mean, to some people, it's now, right? Like some people would say that's what Lamar Jackson is, right? Yeah. I think that, and somebody would argue that Dak Prescott maybe was deserving of an MVP a couple years ago statistically, but the team wasn't good enough to justify that. The difference being right now, Lamar Jackson's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Dak Prescott's a really good quarterback. So I don't know that I know exactly what you're saying, but I think the direct parallel falls a bit short just because if Lamar Jackson retired today, he's going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. First ballot.
Despite playing a very short career, he's had a Hall of Fame career already.
Yeah.
But this is his story. Like he deals with it too.
Yeah.
And to be fair, one of the things that always does bother me, and Trey, because Rita and I will go back up, and Rita will talk about it a lot. Like the Ravens are wasting Lamar's years, and I know what she's saying, but at the same time, like Lamar has to own some of that too.
For sure.
Lamar has played poorly in the postseason. Like that's. I worship at the altar of Lamar Jackson. This city, this is like what Cleveland was with LeBron James. This city revolves around Lamar Jackson. But he's part of the story too, for as great as he is, and he's great. There is not, and we can't say it enough. But he's part of the story too. He has come up short in the playoffs. He's made mistakes in the postseason. So I've always been a little uncomfortable with saying they've wasted these years for Lamar Jackson. I think for the most part, they've given him opportunities to be in that position. I think everybody's got to be better, right? Like it's certainly not Lamar Jackson's fault that Mark Andrews dropped the ball in Buffalo or that Zay Flowers fumbled the ball in the AFC Championship game 2 years ago or anything like that. But I still
or the defense can't get sacks in time. They can't get turnovers in the playoffs.
Or your guards stink or any of those things, right? But it's tough for me to say, well, Lamar's done everything. Yeah, he's done almost damn near everything. They're only there because of Lamar.
Right.
But I think he's got to do more. And I think in the next, you get to, I mean, he's still not 30 yet, but you get to like 32 with Lamar Jackson, and we're still having this conversation. He hasn't even gotten to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think it becomes very heavy that somebody would compare it to Dan Marino. Dan Marino got to Super Bowls.
Right.
Like Dan, he hasn't
second year.
Yeah, he hasn't been there, which is it's crazy. Now, to be fair, neither is Josh Allen, right? And we'll see if that changes this year.
Yeah. Because he's under the same microscope. I don't feel like it's scrutinized as much as Lamar Jackson is. But I mean, Josh Allen, you got to put him in the same conversation. Yeah, you got to put him in the same.
And we can say, look, I don't think Josh Allen's always had the best offensive weapons around him. We can have all of those, but it's still the same thing. You got to be the one to do it.
And you talk about a team that might part from their coach. It wouldn't shock me if Buffalo, if they lost to Jacksonville
this weekend,
if they fall short at any point in these playoffs prior to a Super Bowl, it might be time for McDermott to get up out the door.
They would have to have a real conversation about it. Look, I think Sean McDermott's a good coach. I think John Harbaugh's a good coach, but it's the same thing. At some point, you keep doing it. Everybody made the comparison that this was the Eagles with Andy Reid, right? And like they knew Andy Reid was a damn good football coach in Philadelphia, but it just got to a point where it was stagnant. And obviously that's the historic one because it's worked out for everybody, right? Like Andy Reid's gone on to have wild success, will go down as one of the greatest coaches in football history. The Eagles have been able to win championships in the years that have followed. So it has worked out for everybody. I don't know how this is going to work out, right? I can't predict the future, but sometimes it's just time. It's just this is the right thing to do.
Yeah, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I am still celebrating. I don't want nobody listening to feel like I'm not in celebratory mode. But we're not going to sit here and act like Mike Tomlin isn't in a similar situation outside of having a franchise quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So
and weirdly, like Maestro, I would say that I think maybe even more highly of Mike Tomlin than I do of John Harbaugh because of what you just brought up.
Exactly.
Which is like he's been doing. I think it's a miracle.
Yeah.
The Steelers have been winning these last few years. A miracle.
Yeah, me too.
And while Aaron Rodgers is definitely better than Mason Rudolph or Kenny
Russell
Pickett,
Wilson.
He better than all of them put together.
I still think even he's limited. And we saw that, right? Like you can't get downfield much with Aaron Rodgers. I still think it's kind of a miracle that they've been able to do this with this version of Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. So I have insane respect for Mike Tomlin. But if they were to lose this weekend and the Rooney family were to say, we just feel like it's time, and I know everybody thinks they're going to let him play out the final year of his contract and then go from there, I would get that too. I would understand it just might be time. And maybe if they know Aaron Rodgers is moving on, I guess they might be thinking, hey, maybe Aaron Rodgers has one more in him, so let's tie him and Mike together for one more year. Mm-hmm. But if Aaron Rodgers said, no, I'm definitively done, and they said, all right, we know we kind of got to reset things, I get it, even though I think Mike Tomlin is, outside of Andy Reid, maybe the best coach in all of football. Maybe Mike Vrabel might be putting himself in that.
Mike Vrabel, yeah.
Mike Vrabel.
Hey, Maestro, in your eyes, is it a failure if the Steelers lose this weekend? Is it a failure? Based on it's not a failure?
No, because I mean, if you're asking Maestro, when again, I've been saying this since August, and nothing through the course of the season has proven that they're going to do anything different. As good as Aaron Rodgers has been, and I'm not saying like he's an all pro or nothing this year. I'm just saying,
or as better as he's been than Russell Wilson, Mason Rudolph, all that, the past quarterbacks, the Kenny Pickett's. He's the better quarterback than those names I just threw out there.
Evelyn Hodges.
But all he's been in Pittsburgh is a competent quarterback, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he hasn't been good. He hasn't been terrible. He's just been competent. You know what I'm saying? So and you know, you gotta assume he's going out there and trying his best. I mean, you see him, he burned timeouts before the fourth quarter every single game.
Yeah, the sound went out on the helmet and all that. Yeah.
No. He does this every game.
Mm-hmm.
Every game, he's burning timeouts in the third quarter because he's trying to see what the defense doing, or he understanding the situation. Like he does this all season. So it's just like you can tell he's clearly just trying to outsmart faster, stronger players, to make this team good. So I say that to say is that when we got him, we were still going to be a 9-7, 10-7, 9-8 team that maybe makes it to the playoffs and has a first round exit. Aaron Rodgers didn't change that for me. That's why I didn't want Aaron Rodgers. It was just like, if we're going to shoot for getting a franchise quarterback, we know he's not a franchise quarterback. So let's not waste the time. And the only reason I was like, all right, we did it because $13 million. Like, all right, well, let's see what happens for $13 million. Let's see what happens. But no, my expectations are the same. We are a mid team. Just is what it is.
I get it from your perspective. I'm just looking at the moves they made in the offseason. I'm looking at the defense that's too expensive. I've heard you say that, several times. The defense is too expensive for what they are and how they perform. But the reality is that they made those moves. They got DK Metcalf. They gave him a contract. Those moves to me said, they're looking at this, they being the organization, they're looking at it as, hey, our expectation is we're going to compete for a championship.
Yeah, but you're asking me a different question. Should the Pittsburgh Steelers feel like this?
I am. Yeah, I am.
I mean,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Then absolutely, they should feel like it's a failure. But I'm sorry, bro. I'm not a professional. I don't get paid millions of dollars to, put a team together. But I'm looking at Jalen Ramsey, and God bless, he's playing. He's putting his heart into the game and all the things. But it's not like I'm looking at Jalen Ramsey like he's popping off the screen doing crazy things. I mean, our running game is bad if our rookie doesn't play. Derek Harmon. Our run defense is bad if he don't play. Like, it's just these little simple things that I can look and say, this ain't hard to tell. We had the same problem we had.
I kind of agree with that. Like, I think it's easy to say that the defense has been disappointing on the whole in Pittsburgh, right? Because of the amount of investments there. But I completely agree. I thought there was always a limit to what you could be with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. And I think that you've maxed that genuinely. You've genuinely maxed what you were capable of doing on the whole. And so I think a lot of people think the Texans are kind of unbeatable because of their defense, and I don't feel that way. Like, I think the Texans' offense is fairly pedestrian.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I think they can be had, but to say I don't think it's a failure if they lose. I mean, I really do think that they've maxed out what could have been reasonably expected of the Steelers with a 42-year-old quarterback.
The Texans are definitely beatable. I think. I mean that defense is a problem for Houston, no doubt. But I don't think nobody's talked about this, this week. But this is kind of uncharted territory for the Texans. This is their first
4:30 Saturday afternoon game.
Well, not just that, but this is their first this is their first time being a wild card. This is their first time in the history that this is their first time being a wild card because they won the division all those times they was in the playoffs. So they're going to go on the road the first weekend in the cold in a place where Tomlin is unbeatable on Monday nights. They're right, bro. I think the Texans are ripe for the picking right there.
Well, I hope you're right. Let me start there. I hope you're right.
You're not excited enough for me, bro. Like you just over here, just like.
But what do you want me to lie to you?
Jump out the window. Jump out the window, bro.
Let me tell you something about me, and I know because you've known me for 20 plus years. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Like, I'm not going to jump out the window when I watch this team every single week. I watch the team every single week.
Playoffs, baby.
You're going to go back to the playoffs like Pittsburgh.
But we can't act like we haven't had past conversations about regular season being different from the playoffs.
Yeah, but it's not like Pittsburgh has shown you anything that tells you that they're going to all of a sudden become world beaters. And I'm not saying that because the Texans are,
and they don't have to be world beaters, by the way. Right, they don't have to be world beaters.
Again, I'm not saying that because the Texans are the proverbial Goliath. I'm just saying that we play really inconsistent football. We play really inconsistent football on Sunday. We play really inconsistent football the week before that. When we beat Detroit, we played really inconsistent football.
Sure.
So it's just like so yes, the ball can roll in one way and then inconsistent is consistent, or a play happens here. You know, like I watched that whoever that quarterback is for the Colts bomb on the Texans
Oh, Leonard,
bomb on him.
yeah.
Like why was Phillip Rivers even there? Bomb on him. So with DK Metcalf coming back, if Aaron Rodgers can just not hurt his shoulder blade by stretching the ball a little more to DK Metcalf, could something happen? Sure, yes. I'm not saying that these things can't happen. I'm just saying, based on what I've seen and based on what they've done in the offseason, like the whole totality of what I've seen from let's say March of 2025 to now, there is nothing that says that this team is going to flip a switch and start playing Super Bowl caliber football. So it's okay, and I'm okay with that. Like, and Glenn, he's tricking you, and I'm gonna tell you why he's tricking you.
He knows. You're saying Trey knows?
Yeah, because last week we literally deemed this game the mid bowl. Just last week.
Yeah,
just last week
we did.
So now that the Ravens on the losing team, he want me to have expectations. So when we get our backs blown out, God forbid, no homo, that we got to come in here and that I got to come in here and hear him talk about the Texans is all in y'all. Or hey, bro, like come on, bro, you think you slick? You think you slick? But I know.
I'm just saying, in a conference where there's no bad boy in this conference, I'm just saying, hey, why not Pittsburgh? And look, I think every team should be saying the exact same thing in this conference.
I don't think anybody on the team doesn't think, like, I don't think they're all like, we can't win this.
I'm talking about fans. I'm talking fans too. Like,
I think that the Ravens, and you tell me if you're wrong, Trey, I think the Ravens fans would probably be feeling. I think that a week ago I was having a little bit of like, I don't know, who knows, maybe. Yeah. And it definitely would have been different, like with Kyle Hamilton going down in this game. If you got no Kyle Hamilton going next week, I don't think the Ravens would have had a chance. I don't.
I agree.
But I could convince myself until then that, like, I don't know, who knows? Maybe I squint and it happens. But did I really think that was because the Ravens were good? No. I think the Ravens were a mid team. I think that's what they were.
Yeah, they were a mid team. Yeah, for sure.
And again, this came down to a kick. This came down to a kick. And so I don't know. I couldn't.
And Glenn, let me add to this too, and let me add to your point. The major difference between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers is you have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry.
Right.
Like,
sure. That's why this is a historic fumbling of the bag.
Yeah.
Right? That's why this is. It's insane that you're in this position.
Yeah.
So if you say to me, Maestro, do you think y'all got mid-team, but you got Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry on the Pittsburgh Steelers, you might have got me. I'd have been like, you know what? Hand the ball to Derrick Henry 20 times. Let Lamar Jackson run the ball 15 times, whether design or not by design. And that gives any team in the NFL a problem. Pittsburgh doesn't have that on their team. They don't have those types of X factors on their team. We just don't have it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like Glenn said, y'all fumbled. Y'all literally fumbled. I don't want to bring Justin Tucker in. I don't want to bring Justin Tucker into this because we're too late into the podcast. But I seen the tweets.
I was gonna say if you did, I would have entertained it.
Yeah, I won't. But
I would have entertained it now.
But what I will emphatically say is that if you were trying to get me to be more excited, and I had Derrick Henry on my team, and I had Lamar Jackson on my team, then I could understand why you wanted me to turn up a little bit. But as good as Jaylen Warren and Gainwell have been, their rushing yards together don't match Derrick Henry this year.
I get it.
You might have to double their total to catch Derrick Henry.
You said your piece. I get it.
But don't bring it up again, because this is three times you did it. Don't bring it up again.
I'm just saying, bro. These other teams, I'm looking at them like, you ain't all that. Buffalo, you ain't all that. Jacksonville, you ain't all that. Chargers, you ain't all that.
But it's more of a reason why you trying to focus on Pittsburgh that you should be focusing on Baltimore. Because if you're saying that all of these teams ain't all that, and y'all got 2 Hall of Famers that are playing balling, y'all should be the ones that's like, man, I know these teams are playing better than us.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
Let me
you're
have
right.
all of.
Yeah, you're right, Maestro. Listen, if it was us winning that game Sunday and we're the 4th seed and we're going up against Houston, I'm out the window, bro.
Yeah.
I'm all the way out the window. Like, even if I didn't have Derrick Henry or Lamar Jackson or one of the other, I'd still be out the window, bro. Because I'm looking at these other teams, and it's like, okay, what's y'all resume? It's playoffs, baby. Like, it's a different animal. It's a different animal.
I'm sorry you got to watch him sit here and tell you a fib, and I'm gonna say fib because he already said I didn't call him a liar today, and I'm not trying to, because it ain't no way in hell that you watched your Baltimore Ravens play this year, just like I'm saying for my Pittsburgh Steelers. You watched them play, and if in the roles reversed, and you didn't have Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, that you would have looked at your Baltimore Ravens with a Tyler Huntley and a Keaton Mitchell and been like, yo, we could be.
Well, I never said that they were the guys to be like.
I'm just saying, plug in. I just said that because they were on your roster. But
I get why. I get why you said that.
If you were exempt of 2 future Hall of Famers that are balling, I'm not talking about 2 future Hall of Famers that are on the back end of their career and they're not playing good football. I'm talking about 2 Hall of Famers that are still like Derrick Henry's 32, but he not playing like a 32-year-old.
Yeah, nah. Hell no.
Like, yeah, so
hell no.
Yeah, come on, Trey. You don't believe that if Kenneth Gainwell and Jalen Warren was on the Baltimore Ravens and they won this game, that you saying whoever, we taking on whoever, and we ain't worried about nothing, and I ain't it's nah, bro. Let me say this different. If you feel that way, then you are emphatically being an inobjective fan.
Okay, I'll accept that.
Say less. I like honesty.
I'll accept that.
Say less.
I'll accept that.
I got one more question for you, Glenn. I guess in the whole totality of the Baltimore Ravens.
Sure.
Do you think since Lamar Jackson came in, and because I kind of remember this when analytics and probability became a real thing that people were talking about in games, that maybe in this Lamar Jackson tenure, you guys leaned too much on probabilities and like I'm thinking about the 4-2s that you go for and those types of things. And even the stats you mentioned earlier where stats show that you can build from the outside back in as opposed to just what we know for hundreds of years has been good football. Do you think maybe that this regime has leaned too much on analytics?
It's an interesting question. I think that at first it was perfect. Yeah. Which was you have Lamar Jackson and an offensive line that's built to run, and so should be able to confuse. You should have an eternal advantage on every 4th down and every 2-point conversion, all those things, because no one knows what's coming.
Right.
Because you can do anything.
Right.
I think the weird part was it became incongruent. Like they started. They would say they were leaning on the analytics and data, but then they would do things that were in no ways backed up by data. Like they would do things that you would say, why? I think that almost there was a pushback to how heavy they were influenced by analytics and data. And the pushback was John Harbaugh saying, well, I'm not just a puppet. Like I still make decisions. And some of those decisions were befuddling, like really, really confusing. And I think that's part of what we all saw the last couple of years is it sort of felt like John Harbaugh you go back to that 2019 season. It's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
Historic.
And how in every situation, it felt like John Harbaugh knew exactly what button to push and what to do with that team. And it all got ambushed, ironically, by Mike Vrabel, right? Like Mike Vrabel devised a brilliant plan. And Mark Andrews had a bad game to boot. Yeah. And a team that was unbeatable. And
they had Derrick Henry at the time. They had Derrick Henry.
That helped. So I don't know. It's weird because I know what you're saying, but I would also say that I think part of the problem was they kind of got away from it and never figured out what they were going to be. They weren't just the if that's who you are, if you are the team that goes for it, then be the team that goes for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, make all of your decisions based on that. Make your decision that, hey, on 3rd down, on 3rd and 4, we can call a run play. We can do that because we're going to go for it. We know that's what we're going to do on 4th down. But then you started seeing them on 3rd and 4 dialing up deep balls. I don't know, you know that thing or two about that in Pittsburgh because we all watched the Browns game. Like, that just don't make sense. So I think they just lost who they were. I think they lost a sense of identity. I think that Todd Monken was a pretty good fit with Lamar Jackson at first, but I never knew what the offense was supposed to be. Exactly. And maybe part of that was they brought in Derrick Henry. And when you bring in Derrick Henry, you're inclined to say, we better give the ball to Derrick Henry a boatload of times. But then that's a boatload of times that Lamar Jackson doesn't have the ball. It just, maybe it was never, they never figured out exactly what that looked like. And so then this year they're going away from Derrick Henry in spots where we're all saying, what the hell are you doing going away from Derrick Henry here? It's working.
Was that a problem? Was that a problem in your opinion Sunday night?
I think that we're all bringing up the 5 carries, but the game situation was wild. The Steelers went on a long drive to start the 3rd quarter. And then Lamar Jackson was intercepted. And so they only had, I think, two plays on that drive. And then, the Steelers end up scoring more points. And then they actually did try to give the ball to Derrick Henry twice on the next drive. And they didn't get a first down, and they had to punt. So, and then all of a sudden you're in this wild back and forth shootout. I think a lot of people said, hey, you still had 55 seconds. You could have given the ball to Derrick Henry. But they got downfield, right? So, I don't know, man. Like, it's a tough thing where
I think people are saying that. I think people are saying that because it was at the coach's disposal. The timeout you're talking about at the end there, the lineup.
At the very end, I definitely would have run another play.
It was just more so he had the timeout. Utilize all your resources.
In 14 seconds, I would have run another play. But
it was more about that.
I would have actually been trying to throw the ball there because I think that I would have wanted to see a stack box. The Steelers expecting that you're just trying to get 3 or 4 more yards with Derrick Henry, load it up, show them that look, roll Lamar out, and see if you can. The thing that had been working, obviously, that you already scored 2 touchdowns with.
Exactly.
I would have been looking to do something like that there. And knowing that, hey, if it's not there, you say to Lamar, if you can go get 4 or 5 yards, protect the football, go get it. If not, slide down. That's where we're going to be anyway. Kick the field goal. 14 seconds to me, and yes, the insanity of a kicker that had not attempted a kick of consequence all season long. I couldn't believe that they just said, "Oh, the hell with it."
To take a knee right there, right? To just lose a couple of yards. I didn't like that part of it. But either way that went, he was missing that kick. I mean, he even said in the presser, he said, "Hey, the moment it left his foot, he knew." He missed that thing.
I really do think that kicking the kickoff out of bounds in the 4th quarter kind of got to him. He didn't have a chance to make up for that. The next kickoff, they didn't even let him try to kick a real kickoff. They just said, boot it through the end zone. We'll live with the 35-yard line because they had that little faith in him. And I think that with a rookie kicker in a place they had never kicked before, I think he was shook. I think he was shook, and that kickoff ultimately doomed him.
Yeah. I mean, he was bad at the kickoffs pretty much all season long.
He led the league in kicking the ball out of bounds on kickoffs, but he had been better. Like, he had the last couple of weeks, because I had been critical of that. The last couple of weeks, he had been much better. The coverage was still terrible. But, like, he had been better at placing the ball inside the 8, down near the sideline, which is what you need a kickoff to be now to give yourself a chance to go cover it. But, that one, I thought that kickoff really got in between the ears.
Yeah. I didn't even think about it that way. Like, him thinking about that kickoff being messed up and then happening to prepare for a game-winning field goal. But that wasn't about distance. That was about him being accurate. That was the moment and the accuracy of that kick.
This was for all of the whites. This was the mom spaghetti. This was the this was
exactly
vomit. All of it. Like, I'm just not ready for this moment.
And I know he was sick. He was sick. I mean, I would love to say I feel for him. I don't, but
you feel real terrible about it.
Yeah,
Why
no,
even mention, bro? Why bother?
Hey, look, I think I will think of and I also think because and again, I promise I won't get into Justin Tucker, but I guess I drank the Kool-Aid of everybody saying Tyler Luke was going to be a perfect, you don't expect him to be Justin Tucker in his rookie season, but I guess I kind of drunk the Raven media Kool-Aid that was like, okay, he gonna be okay, and I was just as stressed out as everybody else watching the game, way past my bedtime, like, oh God, we gave this game up, and this was a game we could have walked out of. I mean, we walked out with, but I was like, man, 40 yards, like that's a wrap.
It was money.
That's
yeah.
Like
you think
like,
it was money?
Wrap.
Yeah.
That's a wrap. And yeah, man.
Yeah. If you remember earlier, this had to be off season when the whole Tucker thing happened and all that. And no, it was before the season started. I said, I said to you, I said, look, he gonna make you mad in some moments. He might have he gonna miss some kicks that's gonna frustrate you. I just didn't think it was gonna be the game that you needed it the most, but I said it. I said it.
Well, look, I mean, I can do a lot of revision. I said a few times during the year, I don't know why the priority is we have to find a rookie kicker. The priority needed to be we have to find a kicker that's going to make kicks when what we thought this was going to be a team competing for a championship. And so, hindsight's 2020. They wanted to find their next Justin Tucker. They wanted to find, kicker wise, they wanted to find that guy, and they thought they did. I don't know. Maybe next year he'll come back. He'll be better for it. I think they need to bring in competition for him. But
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Definitely. Oh, for sure.
Hopefully that's the case.
But gotta bring in a vet. And
it's a rookie. He a rookie, man. Like maybe you stick with him and see what he develops into. To get him a good therapist, because I'm sure he's sick. I'm sure he's
absolutely.
Sick,
he was getting threats. He was getting death threats in social media and stuff.
Go see the lady.
I mean, but don't that kind of come with it? I'm about to say, don't that come with it though? When you miss a field goal that way,
it's true.
It comes with it. It certainly don't want to glorify it, but yes, you're right. It does come with it.
Yeah. I'm in a weird place. Like, dude, if you're sending somebody a death threat to see the lady, you might need to be in jail. Like, legitimately, if that's what you're doing with life.
Absolutely.
There is also the part of me that, like, people start to get really sympathetic for someone, and you kind of miss me a little bit there. Like, he definitely does not deserve to face death threats. There's no doubt about that. But there's he needed to come through. This is his job.
There's no there.
The kick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And
there's no there. There's no there. Hey, we'll get him next time and all. There's no. Yep. You missed the kick, bro. That could have got us at the playoff. Yeah.
No, he got to hold that. He definitely got to hold that. Hey, Glenn, I had this in my notes for you to ask. We in the playoff season now. Top 5 players under pressure.
And I apologize because I'm going to have to run after that because I got to do. But my phone's been blowing up all night with people trying to get me to come on their show. You know how this goes. The Ravens fired their coach. It's what
yes.
Of course.
Here's what I had for you, right? And I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm not going to build it up. I think that there's no debate. I can't imagine there's an answer on this list that isn't Josh Allen. Like, Josh Allen is, without question, the player under the biggest spotlight going into these playoffs, despite the fact that they're not the favorites, despite the fact that they're going on the road. There was no one with more at stake. That everyone believes he was MVP of the league last year. He's got to prove that he can at least get there. If Lamar was in the playoffs, he'd be on this list. He'd be 1 or 2. Josh Allen's number 1. Underrated one that I don't know that people are going to talk about. I think Puka Nacua is under a big spotlight. Acted like a clown. Did some really dumb things publicly. When otherwise he was seeming like a likable guy, this damn good football player. He's tried to distance himself from it. I think that, like, going out and having a monster playoffs helps people remember that part of you and maybe be more inclined to forget about the other part of it.
In addition, you're replacing Cooper Kupp, a dude that won a championship MVP.
Right. That's a great point too. Like, he hasn't done it yet. My 3 and 4 are 2 guys that I don't think anyone believes are like game-changing quarterbacks. But I think if they were to win a Super Bowl, we'd be forced to like, Jalen Hurts got his, right? Like, he got his. So we can't. Whatever your doubts are about Jalen Hurts, he proved he can do it.
Yep.
Right.
But I think Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold are two guys that we all look at and say they're good quarterbacks, but are they great? Are they game changers?
Right.
And winning a Super Bowl changes that. And then I would have Caleb Williams number 5 because I think he has the talent to be a guy that could be
that's interesting.
To be defining an era for some time to come. So this is his first opportunity to break through and prove that he's ready to be that type of player for the next decade that can help define this.
I like that.
So those are my 5.
Okay. Interesting list. I have a couple issues with it, but I know you got to run and stuff. But appreciate you coming on.
We can fight about it. I'll look. Sure. You and I can. We'll look like you and Maestro. Like we'll go.
Yeah.
I apologize.
We'll go back and forth on it. But hey, we appreciate you coming on, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And just for everybody out there watching, just let everybody know where they can find you on social media and what things you got coming up.
Yeah, at Glenn Clark Radio on all socials, glennclarkradio.com. Reading Glenn, YouTube, Reading Glenn. We're going to be going on. That's next on my list. I'm getting with her tonight. We're going to go live tonight and do a show about John Harbaugh. So that's there. And then if you live in Baltimore, Friday nights on WBAL, you can hear me over there as well. Busy man, but I get to do this for a living, so I ain't going to complain about any of it.
I know that's
Dope stuff, man.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir. Salute. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Appreciate Glenn Clark right there. Make sure y'all follow him at all the social media stuff. And him and Rita really did a good job at that improv comedy thing back in July, man. That was definitely some good stuff right there. So you agree with him with the Caleb Williams thing? With a player being under pressure.
No, I don't think Caleb Williams is under pressure. I think he prefaced the last 3 with saying that, not necessarily pressure, but, taking that next step. And sure, there's a pressure to taking the next step. And I think that's why he highlighted, and I didn't per se had a problem with it because, I picked Seattle and Buffalo to go to the Super Bowl in week 8 or 9. So, Sam Darnold getting to the Super Bowl would definitely, you would have to put him in a different conversation.
I'm with him on Darnold.
But I don't know if Darnold has pressure though, because nobody expected much of him up until last season. And it'd be one thing, and it'd be one thing if he stayed in Minnesota and and they kind of built on what they had last season. But this is a totally different team where I get it. They were trying to take Seattle to the next level, but I don't think I might be in the minority when I'm looking at Seattle as a team that could possibly go to the Super Bowl.
I think that's changed with Seattle. I think because of they're a 1 seed. Obviously, they're a 1 seed.
Right.
They beat the Niners, and I know there were less expectations coming in for the Niners. I think the Niners, if you're just chunking it up to this regular season, they overachieved given, the 2 studs on defense that have been hurt for most of the year. Our defense is not really all that great. Offense has been, cooking the past few weeks, minus the Seattle game, the finale there.
Yeah.
But I'm with him on the Darnold thing, just in the sense that Seattle's got, I believe, a really great defense, and it would be really messed up if Darnold messed that up for them. Like that's a really legit defense. You was onto something, with Seattle early on, but then. Yeah, last year, I think nobody expected it. I think this year, nobody expected him to do it. I certainly didn't. But I think that's changed. I think I could see Darnold being the one to be under pressure. And then think about last year, those 2 games. The finale in Detroit, where the division was on the line.
Yeah.
Didn't play well there. Yeah. And then the playoff game against the Rams, didn't play well there. And then if same team played the Rams early in the year, had 4 more interceptions. Played him the second time in the game that they won in overtime. He had 2 more interceptions, but he redeemed himself as that game kind of went on. So I think that I can agree with him. I would, I think Sam Darnold should be on that list. I think, as far as Purdy goes, I won't say Purdy. I think I'm gonna say like the team as a whole, and maybe I'm pointing more towards Kyle Shanahan because he's been to 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, I was going to
And
say because he's been into Super Bowls. So I think the pressure is different when you've been to a Super Bowl and lost, as opposed to just hadn't made it to the game.
yeah,
So I think there is a pressure on Shanahan, but
yep,
not like that though. I think again from how Glenn prefaced it,
hmm
these are good quarterbacks who are trying to turn the corner to being, great,
yeah,
considered top quarterbacks in the league.
hmm
Purdy statistically he's there. Sam Darnold in the past 2 years statistically is there.
hmm
These are guys who are putting up good stats, but we don't believe there's a dominant quarterback in the league when it comes down, breaking down a good defense and winning a game, or
yeah,
that time, even though they've done it in games. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
So I feel him from that perspective. If you would have gave me those liner notes and said who pressure, like who has pressure, obviously Josh Allen is
yeah,
number one. I mean, yeah, I
yeah,
mean that there's no
yep,
conversation there.
yep.
If you're asking me to freestyle, well, I guess had you thought about this? Like,
I have.
okay,
So my list. So Josh Allen,
yeah,
no question about that. It's Josh Allen. I had Herbert on my list, and
interesting.
the reason I had Herbert is because he was talked about coming out of college. They talked about him having a big arm. They talked about
I
the
mean,
expectations.
same year, Josh Allen did that same quarterback class. I mean, I get it, but I
A year
think,
later, but I got you.
but I think, unfortunately for Justin Herbert,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, unfortunately for him, as talented as he is, and he's just as talented. I won't say better, but he's just as talented as Joe Burrow and
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Like he's just as talented as those quarterbacks that came out of that class. But
Yeah.
it's just for what a team and like we're not gonna act like I remember watching a game earlier this year. I don't remember who they was playing, but I watched and I'm like, yo, I think we all forgot that Justin Herbert was one of them, like number 6. I don't remember where he was in that first round
Mm-hmm.
of that year, but like he was
Mm-hmm.
one of them, and he was
Top
in
10
his
pick.
just he just Joe Burrow separated himself. Lamar Jackson and Josh they just separated
They
themselves
separated
because
themselves. Yeah.
right, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But he's just as talented. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't know that we have the same sentiment for Justin Herbert anymore just because how the team has performed. So I'm not sure if I agree with Justin Herbert pressure
I'll
it
bring
being
up
there.
I'll bring up a couple more points with
Okay.
Justin Herbert.
Okay.
He had a 27-0 lead in
Yeah, in
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Yes, the defense blew that, but he could have
You make
stopped the
one more
bleeding.
play. Yeah, you make
He
one
could
more
have stopped the
play.
bleeding, you know what I'm saying? And then last year in Houston, where, if I remember correctly, the Texans were kind of limping into the playoffs, and Herbert and the Chargers were kind of, you know, they had a couple wins, game streak going into the playoffs, and what do you have? 4 interceptions in that game, and so yeah, for me, I think Herbert's got to be on that list of players that's got to be under pressure to perform. Like he doesn't have a playoff win yet. Like we talk
Yeah.
about his arm talent and what we've seen of him in the playoffs, and I don't want to hold this on him too, but you remember the Raider Charger finale.
Charger finale. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, where
yeah,
they both could have went to the
yeah.
playoffs, but then the coach screwed that up. But that's not on Herbert, but that he was in that game. So
Well,
you know,
I would tell you, and the Caleb Williams pick is really that's kind of sticking to my spirit right now,
hmm,
because we forget number 1 overall draft pick.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Jaden Daniels had his year and his rookie year, and
yep,
and Caleb kind of fell to the wayside.
yep,
Jaden Daniels beats him in a head-to-head last year,
Hail Mary, yep,
and off the Hail Mary,
mm-hmm,
and it's like that thing about being the next generation of franchise quarterback. I don't know that that's I feel like we could find some better options for pressure, but I like that pick. That's a sexy pick because Caleb Williams again is was the overall number one draft pick. That pressure to be the guy to perform, and he didn't have a terrible rookie season. He just didn't have the pieces, didn't have a coach to kind of put him in the pocket. But now he gets Ben Johnson, and he looked different. Now all of a sudden he's cardiac Caleb or whatever the nickname is, and he playing ball, and he playing ball, and the bias is also because he's from the DMV. I ain't gonna act like that bias ain't there, but that's an interesting pick. But I feel like we could find I don't know. I feel like we could find some better parity in the NFL playoffs this year.
In terms of who's under pressure to win?
Right, yeah, right.
Well, I mean, let's go team by team. So Seattle, the Darnold thing. I kind of like the Darnold thing.
I mean, that's the only person you could really put there.
If the Bears lose in the first round, I don't think it's a failure. Given they've had a season where nobody expected it. So
I wouldn't put Jordan Love over.
I would put Jordan Love there.
Yeah,
I would certainly would, and because you think about it with them, this is the third year in a row they're the seventh seed. Like that's crazy to think about. Given they've been good, they've had some good teams, and they keep finding themselves in these situations, where they're not division champs and stuff. So, and this year, they lost 4 straight. I know he's hurt and he had a concussion protocol, and they don't have Micah Parsons. So, you might change the expectation on him a little bit. But if Jordan Love coming back, to me, he's under pressure to perform. For sure. So I would put Love there. I certainly would put him there. Eagles.
And again, top five. Again,
top five.
Josh Allen, Jordan Love so far.
Josh Allen, Jordan Love. I'm sticking with Herbert. I'm gonna stick with Herbert. I'm gonna stick with Darnold. I'm just going through teams. Jalen Hurts, no. Yeah. Bryce Young, no. Who's Stafford, no. And Purdy. And see, that's the thing. I don't know that it's Purdy. If anything, it's Shanahan for me. If anything, it's that team just because of them being successful, and they've been to 2 Super Bowls, and the way they've lost those 2 Super Bowls, I think maybe puts them under a bigger microscope.
But here's why I would put Purdy over Shanahan.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look from the outside looking in, I think the overall consensus is that Purdy is a system quarterback, and he's only good because of Kyle Shanahan. Mm-hmm. Because he did it with Colin Kaepernick, he did it with Garoppolo. Like he did it with whoever. I mean, running backs. Nobody
tried it with Trey Lance.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Mac Jones came in and won some games for him.
Yeah. So I think I would put the pressure on Purdy more than Shanahan, because the overall consensus, if you look at it, is Shanahan can do this with anybody.
Gotcha. Okay.
But if Purdy is trying to prove I am worth every red cent,
got the bag.
I can see that. I would give that. I would give that to Purdy over Shanahan. I would give that to Purdy over Shanahan.
Yeah. I could see that. I could definitely see that. AFC, Bo Nix, if he loses, no, it's not a failure. Drake May, no. Trevor Lawrence. I'm gonna say no,
but no, yeah.
But I'm gonna say no, but I think because he was the number 1 pick in that draft, and there were high expectations on him, it wouldn't shock me to see people put that on him. But for me, no, this is a surprise year.
Just like that second year he came to the league was a surprise year.
Right. It was a surprise year, but it doesn't change the fact that he was a number 1 draft pick, and there were expectations of him coming out of that draft. It doesn't change that for me.
But do you A, think he's lived up to them expectations, and B, do you think them expectations are still there because I'm kind of answering my question because truth be told,
yep.
No shade. He's a competent NFL quarterback, but what you expect from a number one overall pick, he hasn't lived up to that. He hasn't.
I agree. To this point,
And,
and in totality, right now,
yeah,
he has not.
right.
There's only 2 years where you could say, okay, he's lived up to it. It's this year, and then the second year when Doug Peterson came in. Who, by the way, I wanted to mention Doug Peterson earlier in the show, but I'll tell you why in a second. Okay, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, we could play with that around if we want to, but
yeah, but he's already cemented. No pressure.
Yeah, no, sure. He's definitely cemented there. C.J. Stroud. Matter of fact, that's the name. That's the name I had in my top 5 actually.
Okay.
C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud. But he wasn't a number 1 pick, but he was picked after Bryce Young, right?
Yeah, after Bryce Young, yeah.
He was a 2 pick, right? Yeah.
Number 2.
Listen, man. This Texans team, I think they're a good team. I think they've accomplished something like him and D'Amico as the quarterback coach tandem. They've accomplished, I think, a lot more than previous regimes. I think D'Amico was he's the best coach in franchise history for the Texans. And I know that might not. Yeah, right. Like I know it doesn't say a lot, but there's been some coaches that have had some success earlier years, but I think D'Amico has surpassed them. 3rd year in a row in the playoffs. I think he's got a really great defense that can really, like a championship level type defense, like that could really like get to a Super Bowl and potentially win it all if you can get C.J. Stroud, back to his 2023 form. And I don't believe he's been that this year. Last year was sort of that sophomore slump kind of a thing, but I think he's picked his play up this year. I don't know. I think, and I think folks in general, I think they're underselling the Texans as a team with pressure on them. I think they should have more pressure on them than what they've been given that this is their 3rd year in a row doing this, and they actually got a side of the ball that's championship level. So I'm gonna put C.J. Stroud in my top 5. I'll take Purdy out, and I'll put C.J. Stroud in there in that conversation.
Yeah, because I would take Herbert out.
You would take Herbert out for CJ.
Yeah.
Okay.
If because CJ Stroud, like Justin Herbert is, I think with the ascension of Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson, he's kind of the odd man out. CJ Stroud is still looked at as a guy who can take that next step. I mean, Justin Herbert just kind of feels like he's been here forever. We know who he is, a good quarterback, who talent-wise is off the charts, but just doesn't bring it home for whatever reason, team or for whatever the reason is. I think C.J. Stroud's story or his narrative rather hasn't quite been written for him yet, and that's why there's more pressure on him than say a Justin Herbert. If C.J. Stroud goes in, like if Justin Herbert goes in and has a bad game in his first playoff game, like the first wild card round rather, he has a bad game. It's like we've seen this before, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like like the same old Justin Herbert type of conversation in some sense. Whereas C.J. Stroud, I don't quite off the cuff quite remember how he played in these games, but I know that there hasn't per se been a narrative about how C.J. Stroud is yet as a quarterback.
I think
just because he hasn't been here long enough.
Because he hasn't been here long enough, and I think because he's in this spotlight again for the 3rd year in a row. Hasn't missed the postseason yet in his young career. I mean, to be able to get there 3 years in a row, that's a pretty good accomplishment. Not a lot of quarterbacks really get to do that. So, and I think there's a unit on this team that's got a really great chance at, doing some great things. And he's an X factor in how that team operates. I think,
Okay.
Tank Dell is not back yet, and I
Yeah.
don't think he's coming back this year. You know what I'm saying? That's a key piece to this too. But
we're gonna have to, I know we're going to start quick hitting, Trey. I know we're going to start doing some quick hits, but I want to ask you before we start getting into some other news. Super Bowl predictions. You know where I'm at with it, so.
Yeah, you sticking with Buffalo and Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Eagles. And look, because we talk about play during the regular season, hasn't looked good. I get it. And you say, hey, you can't flip a switch. Well, I partly disagree with that, and I guess it's with certain teams because the Eagles already did that. They already climbed that mountain already. I think it's the Eagles on the NFC side. On the AFC side, for me, just because they the 1 seed and that place is tough to play at, I'm gonna go Broncos.
Okay.
And all they got to do is win 2 games at home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not confident. I'm not super confident in that pick.
Okay.
But the head coach been there before. That defense, we talk about the Texans defense. The Broncos defense is another championship level, defense also. As long as Bo Nix, just makes throws when necessary, get the run game going and all that. So, yeah, I'll go Eagles Broncos.
Okay.
For my Super Bowl pick. Let just a quick shout out. Had some folks in the chat here. Mequan Colbert in the Facebook Live chat. The experience matters when we talk about playoffs because everyone doesn't know how to handle the big moments in games. So I guess he sent this when we were talking about Pittsburgh's expectations and stuff like that.
He is Steelers fan.
Okay, but I think what he said is true, right? Like, if you have experience in these types of pressure moments, you can have an advantage over somebody.
Of course,
I don't think he's. No, I don't think that's out of crazy.
But nobody's saying experience doesn't matter. So let's be clear. We all know that there are a couple of caveats that are included when you're talking about a Super Bowl winning team. But yes, experience absolutely matters. I just don't think experience is. I don't think experience when we're talking about Pittsburgh, specifically, is enough to beat these teams that are playing consistently better football.
All right. Hey, we'll see. Pays and Plays podcast. What's going on? Talking about the Ravens to get the few more yards. Yeah, we talked about that when Glenn was on.
Yeah, sure.
We all in agreement there. What's the quick hitters? I guess the coaching firing.
We got to talk about Black Monday. Obviously John Harbaugh kind of took the episode, but Raheem Morris has been fired. Kevin Stefanski has been fired. Don't get me to try to remember this all.
Jonathan Gannon with the Cardinals got fired.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll from the Raiders let go after 1 year. And then I want to mention some coordinator stuff too. With the Cowboys, Eberflus, the defensive coordinator, is out. The Commanders let go of both offensive and defensive coordinators. So Joe Witt is out and Cliff Kingsbury is out.
But I heard that Cliff Kingsbury wanted to be gone to explore other options. That's what I heard.
Okay.
That's what I heard.
Okay.
That's what I heard.
Wow. Okay. That's that. You know what that sound like to me? That sound like him and Dan Quinn wasn't seeing eye to eye with some certain things. That's what it sounded like.
Maybe, but it also sounded like to me because, well, I ain't gonna say it sounded like to me, but it was interesting because he said after last year, I want to stay around. I'm not interested in another opportunity because I want to help develop Jaden Daniels, and then get well soon. Jaden Daniels go through all these injuries and things, and now all of a sudden, you don't want to see his his comeback. You don't want to see his bounce back. Like that's interesting to me. That now you said that at the end, coming off of the NFC Championship, you have a injury-ridden season. You don't wait for him to come back and see how things are going. I thought that was interesting. Like you changed your mind off of a season where you didn't really get to work with the guy you said you were staying for.
Yeah. Sound like some like he trying to get out of Dodge type stuff. Like
I mean,
or it could just be he trying to go after a head coaching job.
But the truth is he could have got the seat was hot for him to get a head coaching job last year. He could have got a head coaching job easily last year, coming off of that season. They was how everybody was praising his play calling. I mean, they almost forgot that he was trash in Arizona. Like that's how
as a head coach,
right. But when he went to Washington, he had that season he had. He was getting offers, and he said, "Nah, I'm gonna stay in here and work with Jaden." So now all of a sudden he's injured. He's injured this year, and now all of a sudden you don't want to work with Jaden anymore. So I thought now you want to explore options. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's one specific job he wants that maybe he's trying to covet. I don't know. I mean, Arizona's got an opening. He ain't going back there. Yeah. Cleveland's got an opening. I don't know that that's a desirable place. The Giants, though. The Giants, maybe
young quarterback.
Young quarterback, good defense.
Young running back, young wide receiver.
Yeah, right. Like, that's a sneaky good job, but...
Yeah, but you got to know what you're doing. But that would work for him because he likes to call the offense. So, that would work for him.
Right. So I don't know. Would I consider him to coach the Ravens? I don't know yet. I don't know how
man,
I don't know how I feel about Cliff Kingsbury coaching the Ravens. I obviously this news just broke, so I haven't really had time to really think about head coaching candidates, but the one name that popped up that I hadn't seen anybody on the timeline mention, Doug Peterson. I mentioned his name earlier as we were talking, but Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. I get he got fired, and I think it was the whole Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts back and forth thing, and that didn't bode so well. But he was able to fix Trevor Lawrence for that 1 year. Didn't work out in the end there. I honestly think what happened in Jacksonville with Doug was he didn't get along with Trent Baalke, the GM. And if you notice, when Liam Cohen got the job in Jacksonville, he told what's his name, "Hey, I'm not taking his job if Trent Baalke's still there." That's why they got rid of Trent Baalke and stuff. Yeah. So I'm thinking, if Doug Peterson, and I don't know what he's doing right now. I don't know if he's coaching anywhere right now or anybody's staff, but I wouldn't be upset at a Doug Peterson investigation. Like, what's he doing? Because I think his offenses were good in Philly, but
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Doug Peterson. I mean, no interest in Raheem Morris, huh?
I hate to say it, bro.
I tried to put a black card. I did try to put a black card.
I'm glad you did that. I appreciate that. Because I have a lot of praise for Raheem Morris, and but when you got talent, man, and it's underperforming, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. But when
you talking about him in Atlanta?
In Atlanta, yeah, I'm talking about him in Atlanta.
You feel like that's a good roster for real, though? Like, keep it a bean. Bijan Robinson.
I do.
Bijan Robinson, and who else do you really believe in?
I believe in that defense because that defense improved from last year. So I do believe in that defense. The quarterback, there's not enough tape on Michael Penix. There's not enough for that. I think the GM, they botched that whole thing where they gave Kirk Cousins the money and then they drafted the quarterback in the same, offseason.
Yeah.
And by the way, the GM got let go also.
Yeah.
So, and Rich McKay, who I think was the CEO, got let go also. So Arthur Blank is cleaning house like
As
completely.
As he should.
He's cleaning it completely. But yeah, I think they have enough. I thought they had too much talent to not win this division. If that makes sense.
I agree that they should have won a division, but I don't agree that it was because they were so talented. I don't. AJ Terrell, the defensive back.
Jesse Bates is a baller
Jesse
too.
Bates, yeah. But when I look at that team, no pass rush. I get that they've played better.
I disagree with the no pass rush.
Who?
Huh?
Who?
I'm talking about as a unit. I'm not talking about anybody individually.
They don't have a dominant.
Right. They don't have a guy. They don't have a guy. When I said that they improved, I'm talking about that defensive line, linebackers, the front seven. They improved as a unit in terms of getting pressure on the quarterback and getting sacks. You're right. They do not have a guy. They don't have a dude that they can count on.
All right, so they don't have that. We have an unproven quarterback. I'm not saying he's going to be good or bad. I'm just saying they don't have a proven quarterback. They don't have a number one wide receiver. I like Drake London, but he hasn't proven to me he's a number one wide receiver yet. Kyle Pitts. He was highly regarded coming out, and I think the narrative on, but whoever I forget who, Arthur Smith I think was the coach before Raheem Morris, but that the narrative on Kyle Pitts was always they didn't know how to use Kyle Pitts. Yeah, but
that was always the narrative. Sure. So I just want to see somebody use him properly.
Okay, so Raheem didn't know how to use him neither. I'm not saying that can't be true. I'm just saying that when I look at the Atlanta Falcons on paper, this team is not a team that I look at on paper and be like, they are so talented. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I look at when I look at the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not saying they're not but they're not a talent. I won't go as far as to say they're not a talented team. They're not. Okay. When you look at talented teams in the league, they don't scratch the surface of top talented teams in the league. They don't scratch the surface.
I think I think it's kind of like what I said. They're too talented to not win the division,
right?
But I also think that Raheem and the staff, I think, underachieved with what they had. Like you can't beat the Buffalo Bills and the LA Rams in your building on a national stage, and then get shut out by the Panthers. You know what I'm saying? It's that type of inconsistency.
Well, I'll say this then. Because look, I know how I felt about the Carolina Panthers going into the season. It's well documented, all the things.
Division games. Yep.
Well, no, not even that.
Mm-hmm.
Now at the end of the season, I'm left with: are the Atlanta Falcons more talented to the Carolina Panthers or no?
No, I don't feel that way. I think Atlanta
is more talented.
Yeah, I think Atlanta.
Okay, I'm not saying you're right. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm just sitting here looking at it
Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson
should be
just
top
him
10 running back.
Right. But I was gonna say Bijan Robinson has MVP level talent.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know that I could say that about anybody on the Carolina Panthers.
That's true.
On this roster. You know what I'm saying? True.
But then how far is the dip? You know what I'm saying? After that, like you got Bryce Young, who's talented. You got
Ted McMillan is a good receiver.
Rico Dowdle, say what you want, talented.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give me the line about
defense.
All this. JC Horn, talented.
Mm-hmm. What's the defensive end's name? Brown. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, hell, shoot Chuba Hubbard behind.
Behind I like him. He's good. I like him.
I'm not saying I don't have an answer. I'm just bringing it up because I don't look at the outside of Bijan Robinson. I'm not saying you can exclude him. I'm just saying that when you after him, there's a precipitous drop of quote unquote top tier talent.
Yeah, so I think it makes sense to say it this way. I think the Falcons are a better team talented than the Panthers, but I think the gap is small. I don't think the gap. I don't think there's a big drop off.
That's not an argument. I'm not willing to even argue it. I was just having a conversation because I'm looking at the Falcons. It's like, I mean, yeah, it's like obviously they have talent. Like,
Kyle Pitts is good. Drake London's good. Jesse Bates is good. AJ Terrell is good. You know what I'm saying? Right.
But so is JC Horn, and so you know what I'm saying. Like, and if you're asking who's a better cornerback right now between AJ Terrell and JC Horn, I might lean towards JC Horn right now.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'm not decided, but I might lean towards JC Horn. But I know AJ Terrell been playing good cornerback. So you know, all that. I guess all that to say is that the Falcons aren't as. I feel like Raheem Morris may have gotten a raw deal. That's what I feel like.
Okay.
Because I don't think this team is as talented as you're saying. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a thing. They're certainly a more talented team.
Oh, they're more talented than anybody in the division.
In the division, right? You know what I'm saying? So you got that hurdle. You do have that hurdle there. And not only are they a more talented team, but I mean, paper would have suggested that they were the champs. I mean, we talked about they were going to be the champs, and we weren't even entertaining that conversation in August. I mean, injuries and however their season played out. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know. I think Raheem Morris got a raw deal. I think they should have explored
2 years or 3 years there.
2 years.
Was it 2? Okay. I don't know why I thought. I don't know why I thought it was 3. I don't know why I thought it was 3.
I mean, you can fact check me, but because I'm not 100% sure, but I'm confident that
because you got Arthur Smith after he got let go by the Falcons, and you've had Arthur Smith 2 years. 2 years?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. So it has been 2 years. So yeah, I can change my opinion on that. Like, if it's 2 years, then yeah, it's kind of a raw deal.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at it from the owner's lens, the owner believes that this is a talented team. I believe it's a talented team.
Me too, by the way. I just don't think it is a talented, especially when you in comparison to a Tampa Bay. Now, I agree that the Carolina Panthers might have just been a better coach team, a better as far as execution, and that'll beat talent any day of the week. But but I don't look at I just don't look at them as like, oh, this is this talented team that could have stole the division. Yeah. I don't look at it. I don't look at the Falcons that way.
Yeah, I just think that when you get those quality wins like they did, again, the Buffalo, they beat the Bills on Monday night. They were 3-2, and then you lose 6 straight games. You lost to the Dolphins. You lost to, you know what I'm saying? Like you lost all those games that you should have won. You know what I'm saying? I think the owner looked at that and said, we can't be losing to no Miami Dolphins. Like, we can't be getting shut out by the Carolina Panthers. We can't lose to the Jets. You know what I'm saying? They lost to the Jets, dog. They had to do what they had to do. But I would have been more mad if they just let Raheem go and not the rest of the front office.
Right.
Because they're responsible for bringing in the talent,
exactly,
and all that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, I just wanted to let that sit there. Shout out to Derby 501 501st. My fault if I'm clearly fucking your name up, but here we go, Steelers Nation. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm still celebrating, dog. I just got a job to do, but I come to work and then I celebrate. So it just is what it is.
He about to start a storm. He about to start an argument.
Nah, it won't happen.
With this comment. He about to. I'm not even gonna put this comment up. But shout out to you, man. Shout out to Derpy 501 ST2. shout out to you. Maestro.
Let me just be clear. Maestro, I disagree. Let me be clear that I disagree.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, let me be.
But I was gonna say, I think this is the first time you've posted a comment.
No, I rarely. But I realized we was having such an engaging conversation before Glenn came on, so I wanted to see what the comments were saying about the passionate conversation. He's the
I'll
okay.
put it up there. I'll put it up there.
He's
That's
trying to
fine.
engage, but he's trying to engage, and I don't.
Sure. He's the
And
guy, and he isn't clutch against the Steelers, but he gets the coach fired with the blame game, like Joel Embiid and the Sixers. Oh, he had to bring this. He had to bring the Sixers into this. Oh, wow!
hey, my guy. Hey, my
Wow!
guy. My guy.
Wow!
Let's just celebrate the Pittsburgh Steelers. We in the playoffs,
Wow!
AFC North champions. Let's celebrate, bro. Like, we don't got to hot take this 2 hours in, bro. We don't got to do this.
Wow!
I promise you, we don't got to do this
Wow!
game. It ain't no way. And again, hey, I'm ganged up. You see me, but it ain't no way that we are about to compare Joel Embiid to Lamar Jackson, bro. We ain't gonna do. We're not gonna be ridiculous here.
Thank you.
We're not gonna be ridiculous here.
Let's just stop. Let's just stop that.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Tune in next week, man. But we not gonna be ridiculous here.
Let's just stop that.
That is ridiculous.
All right, man. Playoff. You got another hot take?
Only not hot take, but only quick take. I wanted to make sure we acknowledge, because it was a little quick drama that we didn't get to acknowledge in the last episode, is Trayvon Diggs deciding that he would rather go see a Shy Glizzy show than report back to his team, and in turn got cut, but then picked up immediately by the Green Bay Packers. And it makes me feel like that this was a play that was set up since that Green Bay Dallas game earlier this year. That Trayvon decided he didn't want to be a Dallas Cowboy no more. He wanted to be with his mans.
He wanted to go to Micah Parsons. Injured Micah Parsons, by the way.
Well, because it's clear that it's more than football to them too. It's clear. Like when the news was announced how Trayvon was acting, all the things. The Diggs brothers is in some shit nowadays, and we too far to go into it. But yeah, man. Hey, but he got what he want. It appears that he got what he want. He's out of Dallas. He's in Green Bay. And Green Bay could use the cornerback depth. So as soon as shout out to him. But I just thought it was interesting that he didn't want to be a Dallas Cowboy so bad that he felt like it was way more important to go to the Shy Glizzy concert than to report back to his team.
He had a plan, man. He had a plan. He had an escape plan.
It seems that way. Definitely seems that way.
Yeah.
Hey. Let's get into these playoff picks, man.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Is there a reason why somebody should pick Carolina to win this game? Is there anything that you can look at? Maybe the regular season win. Maybe
I overheard a Carolina fan saying today that we beat them in the regular season, and if you're a fan, rock on. Of course. The only real I guess is, hey man, one thing the Carolina Panthers are going to do is go and play a hard-fought football game. That's one thing that they're going to do.
They're going to run the ball.
They're going to play a hard-fought football game. They're going to run the ball. They're going to play defense. How long they can hold up against Puka and Matt Stafford and that defense, we will see in the weekend. But that's the only thing I have, and I don't think that's going to be enough at all.
I don't either. Stafford turned the ball over 2 times in that game. And I think one was ran back for a touchdown. So if you're Carolina, you better hope to count on, turnovers, kind of being the recipe too, right? Because I don't think Carolina can line up with them and say, hey, we're gonna beat you playing our style, like without any turnovers. Like I don't think they could do that. If the Rams are on their game, which I expect them to be, and they've had sort of a terrible couple of weeks with the Seattle loss and then losing to the Falcons in Atlanta. They got right against Arizona to close out. This team has experience. This is a preseason pick to go to the Super Bowl, to win the Super Bowl. they got to do it on the road, and I don't know how that's going to shape out. But I think they're going to beat Carolina in my book. They're going to beat Carolina. I hope it's a good. I hope it's a good game. I hope it's not a game that just gets away from the Panthers. But I think the Rams are going to win.
I agree.
Chicago or Green Bay at Chicago. This is part 3 of the rematch, the rivalry. They split both meetings, but I got to tell you in this one, man, Green Bay has dominated, I would say, 7.5 quarters of the 2 games combined.
Yeah.
And Green Bay, like we talked about with the Rams, although Green Bay's kind of in a worser slide, 4 straight losses to close the season out, kind of backing into the playoffs. They're not going to have Micah available to them, but they picked up Trayvon Diggs, who might get a chance to play in this game, shockingly. Man, it's just that thing with experience, man. It's like your boy talked about in the chat. It's just one team is the Cinderella team, and then the other team is a team that's kind of been there and kind of knows the situations, and they know what to do. And it's a team that knows you. Like, this ain't just, an intra-division matchup. This is Green Bay, Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think Green Bay and I think Chicago's favored. So I'm going to say Green Bay pulls off the upset. I think Green Bay pulls the upset off.
I'm calling Chicago, man. I ain't doing all that. I'm calling Chicago. I'm calling Ben Johnson to call a hell of a game. And I think I don't know how Jordan Love is coming back. I don't know how he's coming back. Obviously, we hope he's healthy and and 100%.
It was concussion. It was concussion protocol. So nothing physically like.
No, a concussion is physical. I mean, I get it. I get what you.
I meant like with your arms and legs and things like that. That's what I meant. Yep.
Yeah. But I don't know how he's coming back. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how he's going to come back and perform. I know what Caleb Williams has been doing. I know what the Chicago Bears have been doing. I'm picking Chicago.
Okay. Yeah, and I wouldn't be mad if Chicago won, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not mad either.
I wouldn't be mad if they won, but I just think, that defense, they turn the ball over, which is good. They live and die off of that. But you can throw on them, you can run on them, like.
But Jordan Love is, Jordan Love can turn the ball over now.
Good point.
And not to be not to twist the knife. He's coming off of a mental. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't wishing that on him. I hope he's 100% healthy.
I hope he's healthy.
But we ain't gonna act like the tea leaves are there. He might not come. He might not be right. Even if he gets cleared, don't necessarily mean he's right.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. All right. Bills at the Jaguars. I think this is gonna be a great game.
I think it's going to be the game of the week, and I'm picking Josh Allen.
Okay. Yeah, I've had to go back and forth about this because, I know how you feel about Jacksonville. It seems like I've watched their games a little bit more this season than you have, at least especially the second half of the season part of it, where they've been the more consistent. Like, they haven't been the clumsy Jaguars that we saw them against Kansas City that Monday night. That was like week 5, week 6, something like that. I'm gonna go Jacksonville. I'm gonna pick Jacksonville because when the matchup first came out, I was on Buffalo's side, but after thinking about it, I'm just like, Trevor Lawrence is playing some of the best quarterback right now. I mean, second half of the season, he's probably like playing top 5 quarterback. I've heard some people say he should be in MVP talks. Not saying he should win it, but his numbers suggest that he should be in MVP talks. Okay, cool. Have at it. Huh?
Don't
Matt
answer
Stafford.
that question.
Oh, all right.
You think he still is? You think he still is?
Matt Stafford?
Okay. Yeah. You think he still is?
Yeah. Okay. Who you think?
I haven't thought about it. I just realized that in my mind when you said that, I'm like, man, I don't know that there's a clear cut guy that's just running away with it.
Yeah, I don't think Matt Stafford ran away with it because he's had the bad couple of games down the stretch here. But I'm trying to think who else is like Drake May. I know Drake May's been in the conversation, but I just think that the strength of schedule thing is really a thing for me. But I just think Matt Stafford's played in a tougher division, better opponents, beat some quality teams. 40 touchdowns? He's at 40 touchdowns. So I think just off of that, for me, of that, he to me he's the MVP.
Okay.
So you got Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got Jacksonville. All right. 49ers at the Eagles. It should be another good game too.
Should be another good game. Yeah, man. I know the Eagles have been kind of quiet, but give me the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Eagles. And I know I've mentioned about the 49ers that they get into these playoffs. They've always end up in the NFC Championship game, but because I picked the Eagles to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl, I gotta stick with the Eagles and stick with them. So, Chargers at the Patriots.
Patriots.
I'm gonna pick the Patriots too.
Yeah.
I
no shade to the Chargers. Good,
Yeah, no shade at all. No shade at all. I actually kind of see this being a like back and forth kind of a game. Like this could be the game of the week. It very well could be.
Right.
New England. I'll pick New England, and I don't like New England. Let's be clear about that. So I'm picking the Texans. I know you're going with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, do you care to expound upon how y'all gonna beat the Texans?
Pure grit, heart,
experience.
Heart.
Y'all got the experience.
TJ Watt gonna be a week healthier, and air that bitch out. Man, throw the DK Metcalf, throw that bitch 30, 40 yards, man. I know, I throw that motherfucker, man. Just stretch the field out, man. Stretch the field out. Utilize Fry move in the middle of the field. We got, hey man, God's plan, man, not mine.
Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter are going to be the reasons why Aaron Rodgers decides to call it quits of a career. So that's kind of where I'm at. Shout out to your guy. He's got Bills Rams in the Super Bowl.
I ain't mad at that.
It's not a bad choice. What's interesting about that is they both got to do it on the road.
Yeah.
I don't know that both of them do it. I think one of them is more likely to do it.
Yeah.
So, shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate Glenn Clark for coming through. Appreciate all the listeners and all that good stuff. Continue to follow us on social media. Click the like button on the Facebook page. Click the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Also follow us on IG at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Your boy is in here on the IG live. First and Pen, your boy Yusuf, Steeler fan. Also,
my boy.
Yeah.
What up, my boy?
All the Steeler fans are coming out. They all coming out now, man. Where y'all been at the whole year? Where y'all been at the whole year?
Trying to hear that hating shit you talking about, boy.
Hey man, I'm a hate watch, man.
Hey man,
that's all I got left to do, man. It's just hate watch the rest of the playoffs. Here we go,
man. Hey, my fault. Hey, to Steelers Nation, my fault that I even took this joint off. Y'all need to see it all episode. Make sure when you put them. Hey man, I don't care what it is.
It ain't COVID, man.
Hey man, AFC North champions. What up?
All right,
here we go.
I'm gonna shut the show down. Follow us on Twitch, folks. Hit us up on the email, sportstalk1@gmail.com. Love, peace, and happiness to everybody out there. Happy New Year. Happy 2026. Hope your year is prosperous. And it's like we always say on this show, mind your damn business.
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.
Oh yeah, we got him. Trey, Frazier, and Maestro Styles, you know we got one. Right back like we left something. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey shot with the blade, you know we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, you know Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we show.